Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, Spence, let's trip out.
All right, here we are. It is Tuesday, and there's a wrestling pay-per-view on Saturday, so we only know what that means. It's wrestling time. We got our buddy Tony, our other wrestling guy. It's been a while since we've had you, buddy. What's up?
Yeah, man, it's been a while. Not much, just watching wrestling and movies, living.
Pretty much what we do. So what we decided to do today was have like a Royal Rumble retrospective. Kind of the majority of us here are fans. Me, Tony, and Craig specifically. Jason, you haven't watched since what, 95, you said?
Oh, good God. I haven't watched since the late 80s.
Yeah, regularly anyway.
Well, I mean, when I was, like I said, when I was a kid growing up, like it was absolutely amazing. But then we're also talking about the superstars that later crafted what would become what we have now.
Yeah, it dropped off around the cartoony time.
Yeah.
That guy was, I mean, like, unless you were going to a circus, you wouldn't see something like that, except for on network television on Saturday morning. Not to mention all the other, like, it's also the only place you would see, with the exception of somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you would see a physique like that in motion.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a while before that happened because, I mean, you had a lot of the early days wrestlers, they were just thick, but they weren't cut, huge, muscular, like steroid creations that would later turn into these weird Hollywood type gods. Like they were back. But either way, so that was my thing, the 80s.
Right. And then Terry, you kind of in and out with it throughout the year.
So in the 80s as a kid, obviously, I mean, that was like the thing in our household. And then the last time I actually watched it on a continuous basis was in 1999.
Okay.
So
the Attitude Era, the good stuff.
Yep. And then this week, of course, I've gone on a crash course and decided that no, I'm not going back in time. I'm just going to start being a fan from here.
There you go. Hey,
there's a lot more ladies in wrestling now. So, you know.
Yeah.
Women's movement in wrestling has really blown up, especially in the last few years. And especially with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like back the last time I watched, you had like China, you know, and China.
Sable.
Yeah.
What, two people?
Sable. There you
women?
go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. The last time I watched, that's about all you really had.
Sorry, I just realized I was interrupting. I apologize. Glow on Netflix, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, the original. Like that was a damn good show.
It was.
That shit, man. It sucks you right in.
I mean, Tubi used to have old episodes, but it has a good documentary on Glow, with a lot of the originals, and they used to have a series on it though.
Which is crazy.
When I was younger,
they were literally running as long as the fucking other shit was running, and it just
I
was ignored.
When I was younger, I used to collect Playboy and I have the issue that has China in it. Not
Nope.
that it's like a real braggable issue if you want to look at it, but it does have the ladies wrestling in it.
There's quite a few of those back in the day.
It
Yeah.
was collectible. It was a big deal.
Yep,
It absolutely
collectible,
was.
exactly.
It
Yep.
also used to be kind of par for the course, didn't it? Like
Yeah,
there was the feminine wrestling thing. Like it was legitimately like your goal is to get noticed here and incidentally do a Playboy spread because that's going to kick you off later somewhere else. Like there was a whole thing.
Yep.
About 2006, 2008. Yeah, around then when
Yeah.
they stopped doing it because they went PG. But it used to be a rite of passage. Like the women didn't need athletic ability; they just needed to look good and
Yeah.
be able to talk a
Yeah.
little
I'm
bit.
blaming Mac Mahone. Sorry, McMahon.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
blaming
gonna call him
Vince
Mac Mahone anyways, though, because honestly, that's how I read it in my head.
McMahon.
McMahon.
But
Mac Mahone, that's literally like the entire every time what's funny is I used to hear his name mentioned on TV. I heard it as McMahon, but I never put two and two together. Until I
yeah,
heard
every
it.
time I saw it spelled out, it just fucked me up. So I just
Stop it. It's Mac Mahone. I know how to read. What's the fun expressly? And I know how to say this.
Oh, yeah. No, I go through that. I live in a French area that was founded by French people, so a lot of the words are said much differently than they're spelled.
Mhm.
It's wonderful to know I'm an outsider all the time.
Yeah, you're living in southern Canada.
Yes,
Yeah,
pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
so
Bird
so
trappers and
So
mine-
where do you live?
I
where do you
live in
live?
Newport, Washington,
Oh, okay. All right.
Washington
All right.
State. Like, so it's
Yeah.
like literally is almost into Idaho and then almost in Canada.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
easy for you to cross the border when shit hits the fan.
If I needed to, but ish. I mean, they get kind of strict now. You got to have a special ID and shit. And,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be nice when we were kids. We'd go up there and drink before we were drinking age in America. It was great.
Yeah, you all look 15.
That's the problem. It doesn't matter how
All I
old
can
I get.
picture
I
now
still
is
look
growing up.
15.
He was a lady.
But another reason we're here, trivia. We're doing wrestling trivia, and we've broken up into teams. You got me and Craig, and Tony and Terry, aka Craigles and James, and TNT.
Woo!
Bartles and James. I'm going to say it again because I was proud of that. Bartles and James.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
but Jason, you're the game master here, so I'm going to hand it over to you, and we'll go off on our tangents as we do.
Oh, no, that's absolutely honestly the questions. Once again, I'm going to make this very clear for anybody watching. If you know your wrestling trivia, and my guess is if you randomly come across this, you probably do. I don't because I don't know wrestling. So this is a completely open-ended. Like I pick trivia questions at random, rephrase some of them, and occasionally there's a couple on here I actually sort of knew the answer to. So my guess is some of them are absurdly hard, some of them aren't hard at all. I can't tell you which is which. Incidentally, normally we will provide hints if they're necessary. I cannot do that because I do not know the material. The way we're going to be running it, the questions will be asked. The other team has a chance to steal if the team question did not know the answer. We flipped a coin before we started, and it's going over to TNT for the first question. Are you guys ready?
As I'll ever be.
Yes.
What network first aired the Royal Rumble?
TNT.
You're a
The
TV
USA. The USA Network.
We'll go with what he said.
That was probably a good move. Yes, indeed.
I won't answer again. I promise. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, if you
Probably
know
will.
one, jump in there.
Yeah.
Freckles and James. I like that a lot.
I do too.
When was the first Royal Rumble?
When are you looking for a specific date?
I need a specific date. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but it's got to be the last two.
It's got to be what you want, month and year, month and day.
I just need the year. That's it.
1988, January 1988.
I'm going with him.
Greg says yes. All right, Greg, you guys got that. Way to go.
The Royal Rumble is as old as I am. That's how I know.
Woo!
Yes,
Yeah.
1988 aired on the USA Network because it was a fledgling network that really needed to do something to boost its fucking numbers.
Absolutely.
USA up all night.
Oh my God, I remember that shit.
Yes. Rhonda Shears and fucking Gilbert Gottfried. Come on.
Yep.
Those were the days.
Tony, my suspicion is because you knew the answer to the other question, as you mentioned it before we ever even started, that you're probably going to get this one too. Terry, pay attention. Who won the first Royal Rumble?
Oh, come on.
I just looked at this the other day. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Duggan. There you go.
Oh,
Terry, I did not wait for you to answer that because I would not have fucking known that. My suspicion is we know about the same when it comes to
Actually, when I was watching the thing the other day, they had brought that up. I watched this round table discussion thingy for about, I want to say about 4 episodes.
Mhm.
There is some information I think I retained, and there's only one human being it's about. So let's see if that question is
all
there.
right.
you could. You never know because, like I said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this.
Yep.
I could have honestly just like thrown crap at a wall. Questions everywhere, wherever it's stuck. That's what I'm asking you.
Just put a bunch of wrestlers up on your wall. Throw pink shit.
I know that might as well be what I did. Like I was literally what's fucked up is the first runs that I was going through. The first people that I was going when I was checking into like names and shit like that, I was like, no, I know that's not right. I think I mentioned that to you guys. Like I had to go and double check it and found out that like the first questions I was coming up with, they were not right. So I had to start literally like wrestling names I remember. Let's find out about this guy.
Yep.
It's been an ordeal.
I feel you.
Carlos and James, we're over to you.
Sure.
Who was the first superstar, quote unquote superstar, to enter the Royal Rumble? This is also off of the WWE website, by the way. There is an answer to the question. It's not opinion.
I think I know. And I'm totally guessing, but it's a good one. Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. I'm going with him.
Bret Hart. Bret Hart is correct.
Yeah.
I saw
Nice.
that the other day. I actually knew that answer. That's not the only one I retained. Woo!
Oh yeah. All right.
Back up to you guys, TNT. This is maybe a gimme, but I think it's fair, especially in light of some of the other questions. So, in which year did the first PPV pay-per-view Royal Rumble happen?
1989.
I'm going with
I need a consensus.
he said, because I don't know.
That is a good move on your part there. Congratulations.
I moved back to America in 1989, so you know.
There you go.
Guys, currently they are in the lead with 1 as there are 6 question rounds, which means this last question, get it right, you're still tied up. Once again, remind everybody, it's a bonus question. It's got fuck all to do with wrestling. Reynolds and James. In January of 1996, Steve Austin made his WWF debut. What was his original WWE? Debut? What was his original gimmick?
The Ring Master. Greg.
What?
He wants confirmation. The Ring Master.
You are wrong.
What?
No, you're not wrong. I'm fucking with you. It's Ring
I was
Master.
gonna say, don't you?
I couldn't hear what he said. You froze up
You
for a second, so I was like,
deserve
"Oh wait, what?"
James, you deserve that.
No, that's the whole reason I started wrestling. Is that man? No.
All right, so
I had his back if it was going to be wrong.
Although that's another thing. I guess I forgot to tell Tony that. Tony, I am the final judge on any question asked. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
All right. All right.
There's some wildly skewed things.
I draw the line. At
Got
Austin, Jason.
Yeah.
At the end of round One. We are all completely tied up. So congratulations, gentlemen.
I had a feeling it was going to be neck and neck either way.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Like some of these questions, like I said, I actually knew the answer to off the top of my head. Like one of them. The rest, once again, I had to look up. But that doesn't really mean much. If you're an actual wrestling fan, my suspicion is most of these are going to be open-ended. However, if you're a casual fan, they won't be because they are very specific.
Yeah.
The answers are super, super specific. So I was hoping to make up for my lack of knowledge with specificity.
Specificity.
Specificity. Specificity.
Specific. That's one of those words that I can't
I
say.
need you to say that word.
What specificity?
That's the one.
Yeah, specificity.
Specificity.
Guys, I legitimately, the fact that I said legitimately without stuttering, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Mine is hold on, literally. Okay, I have to say it slow.
Literally.
Yeah.
How did we
If
get
I
on?
say it fast, I'm screwed.
It's not like the British version, literally. L-I-C.
Literally. I have to say it like the British do. I have to say it like that.
Oh,
Literally.
literally.
Yeah, that's how I say it most of the
And
time.
we're off topic.
Yeah.
What we do?
Yep, sorry, guys.
No, that's what we do here. That's the
My
end.
fault.
I was waiting for it. I'm gonna start counting them every time we do.
Oh, there's about to be a drinking game involved there. Just kidding.
Okay.
We were on to round 2. Guys, going over to TNT as Kreggles and James said the
Do we
last.
want to take a break before we do round 2?
Oh, we're doing that quick. Yeah, fire it off.
I could use a refill.
All right.
Yeah, oh, please do.
Now you can make World Wrestling Federation superstars twist, turn, do things they never thought they could do. Camel Clutch, the Iron Sheik can do that. Clothesline, Hulk Hogan can do that. Collect all the World Wrestling Federation superstar bendies, each sold separately from LJN.
Are you ready for Hulkamania? Ancient Adonis, looking good and tough to beat. Nobody beats Macho Man.
You can get right in the action in the ring with Wrestling Superstars figures. The big names are here and they're ready. It's corner-to-corner excitement. Match your moves against the other guy. Have your own WrestleMania with all your favorite figures. Because you're in the ring with the WWF Wrestling Superstars figures. Figures, ring and cage sold separately. Assembly required. It's a grand toy.
I can beat anyone.
What'd you say, boy?
All right. We're back. So, Jason, round 2.
We are on round 2. First question goes to TNT.
Okay.
With a career that spanned the 80s and 90s, Bad News Brown had a finisher called what?
Ooh.
The Ghetto Blaster.
I'm gonna say yes because I don't even
fucking
remember.
correct, and I'm amazed. Congratulations!
I'm amazed.
Wow.
As soon as he said it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's it."
That was, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, these are gonna vary a lot. That was fucking amazing.
Thank
Well
you,
done,
partner.
Jason.
Thanks for
That was a
carrying the
deep
team.
cut, Jason. That was a deep one.
No problem. Yeah.
So going over to Kreggles and James. In 2002, Hulk Hogan won his only tag team championship with who?
Edge.
I'm going with him.
Is that where that's what we're going with?
Edge.
That is correct.
And the platform.
First and only.
Told you they were going to vary. Okay. This one is actually going to be a multiple choice.
Oh. I want one of those.
Just going over to TNT. Who holds the record for the longest WWE championship reign? A, The Ultimate Warrior. B, Hulk Hogan. C, Bruno Sammartino. D, Roddy Piper.
Bruno.
I'm gonna actually agree with that because I think I watched that the other day.
That is correct.
Yes.
Held it for almost 8 years.
As
7
soon as
years,
I
8
heard that
months,
name,
and
I
1
was
day.
like, "Yes, it's that one."
One title reign was almost 8 years long.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he
I
held
remember
it
them
again for
talking
what?
about how
3
it was
years.
like one of the most amazing things in wrestling,
Yeah.
almost to date, really.
But
It's unheard of now.
That just tells you how over he was with the crowd, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given the limited exposure that he had.
Yes.
But that showed how in demand he was. Everybody wanted him. Like they had to pay Vince McMahon to use Bruno.
Yeah.
So, and I got to meet him when
And
I was
he
11.
was packing arenas in New York,
yeah.
Philly, and Boston.
Oh, yeah, he's selling out everywhere. Holds the record for most Madison Square Garden sellouts.
Bear in mind that your answer, like I don't know this, so you're answering somebody who's legitimately curious. When did they really start doing national tours? I mean, there was always a national approach to it, but like we were talking about before we started recording, for me growing up, the South was the locale of wrestling. It's what later became the WWF and then the WWE, right? When did it become a national thing? I mean, because like the first national or international championship between Canada and the US and shit like that was all based from the WWF.
Right. Well, the WWF went national with their television product in the 80s.
Right.
And that led to them being able to do the national tours. And so that started in the 90s is when they started hitting the West Coast and everything pretty regularly.
Like when you as an average person flipping through the channels, it became something that was, I guess, continentally recognized.
Yeah.
I guess it would have been the 90s then. It would have been like the early 90s, mid 90s, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, it would have been like
late
the late 80s, early 90s. It was because Canada was weird. Like back in the 80s, is that they needed a certain number of like employees to work in Canada, which is why Jack Tunney, if you remember who Jack Tunney is, he was like the on-air commissioner for the WWF. So really, him and his family back in like the territory days, they ran Toronto and Ontario. They owned that territory, if you will.
Right.
So Jack Tunney started working for Vince. Vince bought Stampede Wrestling from Stu Hart, so that also kind of got him into Canada. And then I don't know when the date was, but it was Raw. Raw was airing on TSN in Canada across the whole country, while it was airing on USA Network down here.
So okay, all right then. So I mean, it was well, really, it was a decided thing from the get go. Then that was the plan.
That was Vince's plan from the jump.
Yeah, it was the goal.
Yeah.
His dad didn't want him to.
Yeah, and WrestleMania 6. No. And WrestleMania 6 was in Toronto, and that was April 1990.
Yeah.
So
that was the first WrestleMania outside the country.
That was a big deal.
It was one of the highest.
That was a big deal for the WWF at that time.
For sure. But all right.
Yeah, sorry, not quite off the topic, but
all good history lesson. I like it. I like
that. Carlos and James, we're over to you for this.
Yes, sir.
And once again, I'm going to point out that I do not understand the severity of the questions that I'm asking before I ask this one, because I'm starting to feel like this one is probably
probably easy. True or false?
Yep.
Okay.
The Rock won the WWE World Tag Team Championship paired with The Undertaker.
True.
I'm going to go with true.
So true is definitely what we're going with?
Yeah.
That is correct, yes. I would be an asshole.
I want to say I just watched that, actually. I've been watching old Raw.
Yeah, it was December 18th, 2000 Raw.
Okay. I haven't made it there yet, but I do remember like his championship history and stuff.
I'm pretty sure I remember that, and I was actually going to say it even if I didn't know it. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't my question.
What'd you say, Jason?
That kid is super angry that she's being forced to go to bed. I can hear it. 3.5 years old. She's old enough to know what she wants. God damn it, and she will fight.
Oh, yes.
Might win too, dude. She's fucking tough.
Careful with that one.
Yeah. So TNT, back over to you. Who was the youngest WWE heavyweight champ?
Ooh. This is a trick question, kind of.
No, not a trick question. This has a
Are you okay? Well, I'll clear it up here in a minute. Like once we find out the answer, because there's a slight caveat. But let's see what the answer. I want to know what the answer is here. I gotta see what Tony says. He's deep in thought.
You know what sucks is I could actually give a hint for this one.
Oh, you can. Don't do it. Don't do it. He says.
I'm not going to Windy Fair because I can't give it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with The Rock.
One more time.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Discuss amongst yourselves. You guys talk.
Fuck.
See, I want to go with HH.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Youngest.
Hulk Hogan wasn't even the youngest when he started.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Doesn't
Then
count.
I'm missing up. I'm messing up. See, I told you I didn't retain the right information.
Hold on. I will tell you this much, and this is not even a hint that's really going to help because, like I said, it would not have helped me because I don't understand the material. But I will tell you this much: it would not have been from the '80s fucking heyday and kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. All right. Randy Orton. Final answer.
Gary, you going with that?
Go with it.
You're wrong. Chance to steal. Craig and James.
Oh, am I frozen? Okay, I'm not frozen.
You're good.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm going with him.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, I don't. What? Seriously though? I fucking fed that to y'all, and it was Brock Lesnar. You got it right. Congratulations. You're very.
He beat The Rock.
Yeah.
What? It was Brock Lesnar.
Randy. Okay, to clear that up, because I was gonna say Randy Orton, Tony, because of this.
Yep.
There was a time when, well, similar to now, but by the early 2000s. Brock Lesnar won the WWE title.
That's the place.
What's that?
Is James frozen on everybody else's screen or just mine?
No, he's freezing up.
That's awesome. This is a great freeze. Ah, there he is.
Now he's good.
My internet's being choppy. Of
You
course
should got a picture for that for a meme. Jeez.
Hey guys, Brock Lesnar was the actual WWE website answer.
Okay.
Randy Orton, incidentally, was mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes, but he won the World Heavyweight Championship.
He did not. Yeah, exactly.
It was not the WWE.
If I could give bonus points, I would, but I'm not going to because you just stole the answer from your guess. Jesus.
Look, for the first time, we're not tied up. All right.
All right. So the question goes back to Crackles and James too.
All right.
The final question for round number 2: Jake the Snake lost to who in the '96 King of the Ring tournament?
Lost to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
I'm going with him.
You are correct.
That is the pay-per-view that got me watching. So yes.
All righty.
That is the pay-per-view that got me in. But all right, we are flying through.
Yeah, we are.
And where was that pay-per-view, James? Where was it?
Where was it? That was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my friend.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Funny enough, I only remember that because of the Best of the Free for All VHS cassette tape from 1997.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had Doc Hendricks doing the intros for all the matches, and he goes, "We're going to the King of the Ring in Milwaukee, Wisconsin." Like, there we go.
Leading out of round 2, it is Craigles and James with a 2-point lead.
Ooh. Sorry, Tony.
Over TNT. To be fair,
it's my bad. My bad.
No, I'm sorry. I wish I was a better partner.
Once again, this is coming from a trivia master that does not know what the fuck he's asking.
It's okay.
Nobody should feel bad about anything, possibly with the exception of me.
I told you I'm about to just go all wrong answers, and it's all going to be things that you guys are just going to be outraged by.
There's multiple choices. You see over and over again.
I mean,
Oh man.
I mean, Jason gave the best description for me earlier, so.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That was fair enough. Round 3, we are kicking off with DT first. Are we running through another?
Yeah, I still got most of my beer here, so if you guys are good, I'm golden.
I got some. I'm good. Wait, yeah, I'm good.
I'm
good.
making another drink.
I'm good.
Let's rock and roll. You're making another drink? You'll have it done in 5 seconds. Watch.
I'll just,
Somebody's coming there.
Yeah, my drinks don't need to be made. They're already made.
That's it. We're no longer chugging syrup on the show.
Never
It's
again.
time for beers.
For those of you hoping for another syrup challenge, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
I'm not hoping for it. I promise you. I don't need that.
I'm not talking to you. I'm
diet.
talking to our people watching. Like, I know y'all loved it and watching us get diabetes at a young age and all that stuff. But no.
Oh,
I thought it was pretty entertaining. Yeah.
I'm sure you did, because you weren't there and doing it with us.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I
watched
was
it
like,
a few days
great.
later.
What did I agree to? No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
exactly what I was thinking. For the second it hit my lips, I was like, why? Why did I say yes?
As soon as I saw Matt finish it, I said, that guy's a Canadian. I love you. But yes, absolutely.
Craig, what
I
were
live
we
very
thinking?
close to Canada.
Huh?
What were we
I said-
thinking that night?
Super
Seemed like
Troopers.
such a good idea.
That's
We were
exactly
gonna
what we
be
were
stars, I tell you.
thinking. We would, yeah. Oh, we became stars, all right.
Oh,
I will never forget the
stars of the
entire episode.
reality
Matt
show.
just sitting there. All he did was.
You could watch Matt like slowly decay into diabetes.
he never needs syrup on his pancakes again.
I honestly don't think he has.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I was not a part of this when that happened.
You're like, I'm
He's
very
very
glad you
happy.
called
Literally would have
dibs.
killed me, but I would have done it because, God damn it, I'm a champion.
What do they say in the movie? It's
I am all that is man.
I would have said that right before I killed over. It would have been bad, but at the same time, I would have been like, at least
it would have been like in Half Baked when he gave the horse all the stuff and the horse had
Oh,
diabetes.
God, what a great movie, though.
Seriously.
Jesus Christ, that thing still makes me laugh. Dude, I've seen that like 20 times, and it makes me laugh.
Okay, I have seen that movie like a million, okay, I won't say a million times because that's obviously an exaggeration, but I have seen that movie so many freaking times. I can quote it and I still love it.
Sorry, I'm a Terminator.
Yeah. And there's a lot of movies that I can quote, like Dumbo. Oh my goodness, I can quote Dumbo word for word.
Yeah.
That was my childhood movie. You know, like everybody has that one movie they make their family watch over and over and over again.
That was me with Terminator.
It is sad, and it still makes me cry every fucking time, damn it.
Sad. The part with the fucking, like, when he's being rocked by his mom through the cake, like, that's a sad fucking thing.
Oh, for sure.
That is sad.
That's some bullshit.
That is sad, but it's still my fucking. It's my It's my movie. Sometimes you gotta cry.
I feel like they learned from that one, though, because you never saw
Yeah.
something sad happen in a Disney movie again. Like,
I never acted up in public again with my mom. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I cry every time they lower the Terminator into the lava at the end of the second movie.
It's the fucking
Oh,
thumb.
see?
It's the
It's the
thumb
thumb.
that does it.
It's the
It's not
thumb.
even him going down. It's the fucking
Yeah.
thumb. Asshole.
Gives them the
Yeah,
thumbs up.
I mean, anytime John Connor cries, I cry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Exactly.
hope for the fucking entire future, and he loved his Terminator.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Round 3.
Round 3.
Yeah. What a tangent.
TNT is good, guys.
Yep. TNT.
What is John Cena's finisher called?
He's got a. This is our question, right?
This is your question.
He's got a few, but I'm going to go with the STFU.
You know what? Just because you're the guest, I'm gonna give you a chance to rethink that answer. He has one that is a solid answer according to the WWE website. He does have multiples, but he's got one that is the answer.
I should totally know this.
This is the one, by the way, that I knew without looking at it.
This is when I stopped watching, when Cena started getting his big push.
That's fair. That's when I no longer cared either, because I didn't know who anybody was. But I recognize this because they called it like the last thing that I ever sat and watched. I recognize this because he said, "Oh, here it is, John Cena with
the 5-knuckle shuffle."
Big Christ, no.
I don't it's his I don't know.
I have no clue.
You know what?
His version of the Death Valley Driver.
You're gonna know it when you hear it.
I know.
The moose knuckle.
It's the moose knuckle shuffle, which was like it was uncomfortable for everybody. It is not. It is not at all.
Okay. So we have a chance to
come on.
All right. I know the name of the move. I know both names. I know the original name and the new one. It was originally called the FU, but now it's called the Attitude Adjustment.
It is indeed the Attitude Adjustment.
It's a high
I told you you're
impact
gonna
Death
know
Valley
it.
driver.
Attitude.
It's a shitty looking Death Valley Driver. Is what it
It's
is.
supposed to look more impactful, but it doesn't.
No, it just looks like crap.
Yeah.
So,
It looks like a body slam from the shoulder.
pulling the head a little bit more. Greggles and James. You're coming on to your next question.
Name gets me.
You're way too proud of yourself. Don't be proud of yourself. I don't know what I'm asking. Okay. Who holds the record for the longest Royal Rumble match at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 12 seconds?
Oh my god.
In 2002.
In 2002.
Oh my god.
No. Wait. Reread that question.
Who holds the record for the longest Royal Rumble match at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 12 seconds, set in 2002? Still holds up.
You have the year wrong.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I promise you. I don't.
It was Rey Mysterio in 2006.
No, it was Rey Mysterio in 2002 because
Look
that's what the WWE website says.
It's wrong.
Here,
It
hold
is
on.
so wrong.
Oh shit.
The WWE website is dead wrong.
I'm gonna dig into the.
You just gave us the answer.
I'm digging into the box set.
Yo,
You know what?
Got the box.
What, Tony? I was going to give it to you, but now I'm not going to.
Well, because I just watched 2002 and Rey Mysterio was not in it.
Oh, okay. So this was on the WWE website. Bear in mind that all the questions.
Right.
It's definitely a typo then.
Here, we're gonna bust this out because it has
the anthology.
It has
That's
it has
2007, doesn't it?
All right. Well, now I'm giving myself a point. Nobody
It does. So if it's okay with Jason, I'm gonna take a peek at this to see what the box
please
set
do.
says.
Actually, if you have something that says it differently, go for it.
All right.
I looked up again and make sure that I did not write the wrong fucking year down, which I may have.
And I pulled up the Wikipedia article too, just in case.
So 2002, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was in there for 29 minutes.
Yep.
Hold on. I might very well have written it down the wrong way. Hold on a second.
I was still neck deep in watching it too at the time. So technicality. It could just be a typo on WWE's part too.
Could be.
Because the internet.
Hold on, wait. Who are you guys saying it was? All right, so you said Rey Mysterio.
Rey
The
Mysterio.
answer that I have, but you said the wrong year, right?
The year he won it was 2006.
Okay, get this. What I just looked up says it was Triple H.
That was 2000.
9 minutes and 22 seconds in 2002.
Steve Austin won in 2001. And Triple H did
So
win
this is just coming up with
2002.
Google searches. I could.
No, you're perfect. You're perfectly right. Triple H won it in 2002. Brock Lesnar won it in 2003. And Steve Austin won it in 2001.
2003.
But the year is wrong.
Yeah,
According to what I
answer-
have, 2000.
Yes.
I'm going to
2003
point both teams. Then.
is 2003 is Jericho.
All right, then I'm pointing both teams.
Jericho
Both
never
teams.
won a Rumble. Jericho had
giving
the
you.
record for the longest in there, didn't he? Though.
I'm giving like both of you got that, and I'm also giving it to myself.
I'm so confused.
Everybody gets a point. Woo!
Who gets the point on that?
Both of you do.
It has
Because the thing is, like,
Okay.
all right. So to be fair, Triple H apparently won in 2002, but that was not the WWE site. WWE site said it was Rey Mysterio in 2002 with a hour and 12 minutes and how many? 2 seconds? Yeah, 12 seconds. But apparently that's incorrect. So for anybody that happens to be watching, the answer is Rey Mysterio, longest fucking match.
Yeah.
But not in 2002. In 2002 it was Triple H.
Yeah. He won the match in 2000. But Rey Mysterio
2000.
Go for it.
2006. 2006. Rey Mysterio, 62 minutes.
Yep. He won it and was in it for the longest time.
Everybody's getting points on this because you guys got the correct fucking year. Right? So everybody gets points on this, including
That's fair. That's fair. I'll throw a little bonus point in the corner for Jason.
I was gonna say I feel good about me. I'm in the running. So this is back over to TNT at this point. Hopefully the question is correct this time. Jesus Christ. Which pay-per-view event did Chris Jericho become the first undisputed world champion?
Ooh, good one.
I know the name, not the fact.
Yeah.
I know the name and the year.
Yeah.
And I know who he beat.
Of course you do, James. Of course you do.
Watched it happen.
I know that it was
I'm just gonna point out I really did give myself a point.
2002. I'm gonna say
I'll give you the question again. Not that it's gonna fucking but here it is. Which pay-per-view event did Chris Jericho become the first undisputed champion?
Unforgiven 2002.
Unforgiven 2002. Is that your final answer? Discuss it amongst yourselves.
I don't know. He knows so much more than me, so he can have it.
Yeah,
he can have it.
Yes.
You're wrong on both.
Oh.
Fuck. A backlash. That's 2003.
Okay. Does that mean it's our turn?
It is.
Vengeance 2001.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Beat The Rock and Steve Austin in the same night.
Yeah. Was that
That was the end of the invasion. That was the end of the WCW.
So was that? So that was that December 2001 then?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was original, like they changed it to Vengeance because they got rid of Armageddon for that year because of 9/11.
I was turning 21 when that happened. There was no wrestling.
I was 11. I was almost 12.
We're over to Pregles and James.
Man.
Once again, I don't feel good about the question I'm about to ask because I realize that the severity of the answer is a load of shit. And I apologize. What's Shawn Michaels' nickname? And what does it stand for?
HBK, the Heartbreak Kid.
That is correct. I don't know.
Yeah, a new one.
I should have just given it to Tony. I feel bad.
Once again, I don't feel good, but at least
I've stolen 3 answers and I don't even want to talk anymore.
This should actually make you feel better, though, Tony. This is coming at you, but Terry as well. Terry, you're also here. Hi, Terry. Nature boy Ric Flair's catchphrase, to be the man you've got to
beat the man. Woo!
Yes. Woo!
There you go.
There you
Congratulations.
go. You had to throw the woo in.
Yes.
Is that all the questions?
Got one more.
Oh boy.
There's a special one.
No.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay. Okay.
Bonus has a little to do with wrestling, but not much. So the final question, and bearing in mind, this is according to the WWE thing, which bearing in mind has already gotten something wrong.
Right.
But this is a solid answer, and it's something that I would have expected to be a solid answer, which is saying something. Terry Bollea did what to cement his place in wrestling history?
He did what to cement his? He body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. It's Hulk Hogan.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay, I knew I knew that fucking name.
That's Hulk Hogan's real name.
You guys are way the fuck ahead on that one.
Yeah, we kind of crushed y'all. I'm keeping score too, and it's
Yeah, it is 12-7.
Yeah.
Damn, really? Oh shit!
No, I have my bonus question that's got fuck all to do with wrestling.
We double or nothing?
Points. We've done that on every other one. Why not do it on this?
Bet your points, yeah. Screw it.
So TNT, you guys have 7 points that you can bet on this question. Kreggles and James, you have 12.
Okay. Are we doing it Jeopardy style where we give
You
our
are betting
wages
in
beforehand?
advance, and I'm asking you.
Oh boy. I'll let Tony and them go first. Yes.
Do we
Tony
get the topic like Jeopardy? Or are we just going in blind?
I will say that it's wrestling adjacent, and that is all I can say because anything else would be really shitty. Bearing in mind that what I just said could also be a fucking.
All right.
It could be something that will help you figure it out.
Well, it's up to Tony however many points, because he made all the points, so he gets to choose how many points are used.
Is this the last round? Are we done after this one? Or are we still going?
Bonus question, yeah.
Once again, you have 7
Okay.
points to bet.
All right.
And
Let's go with.
I'm gonna say it
Let's
again
go with.
because seriously, I think you maybe are gliding over it. Giving you anything else would be really shitty.
Giving any other hint.
Any other hint. So this is a wrestling adjacent question wherein any other clue would be very shitty. That entire statement is a clue.
Let's go with 5 points.
Okay. Plus or minus 5. Craig, you want
12
to
to run with?
you want to match them?
Yeah, we'll match
Or
them.
just call it. We'll call. Like whole.
All right. So bonus question is going to work like this. I'm going to ask the question. The first person that says their team name is the person that is buzzed in. TNT, Kreggles and James. You guys have a distinct advantage.
Yes, we do.
It's dynamite. Right.
Here we go. Hulk Hogan smelled this in No Holds Barred.
Oh, hell.
James.
Go ahead, Craig.
We both caught it at the same time.
Oh, you did?
Actually, It might be my computer. It's a possibility it's my computer. But I think it was actually them.
Oh, okay. Let them answer it then.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Dookie.
That's right. Just so
it is 12-12. You guys tied. Congratulations.
Yes, we did. Everybody gets a hug.
Hooray.
Yay, we're all winners today.
Oh my god. It wasn't a landslide for a change. Our last trivia games, like, we've been getting stomped.
No, so at the end of the game, though, it's 12-12 to 1.
12 to 12 to
1. I got one.
Woo.
Okay, so I got to throw this out there. Like earlier, a question earlier was when was the first Royal Rumble pay-per-view?
Was
And-
1989.
Right. Well, that goes in theme with WWF's theme of doing their first like big version of whatever event, like WrestleMania was the first one was on closed circuit television.
Mm.
In fact, I think the first two were on closed circuit television. And then same thing with Survivor Series and then Royal Rumble and then SummerSlam as well. They would do that on like basic cable or closed circuit TV. And then the next year they would go to pay-per-view because they made so much money off of it. They can make even more.
Mm.
You know, people are going to buy this shit. Of course, they're going to pay for the tickets and they're going to buy the merchandise for it. So of course they're
People
going to
pay for the energy, man.
Yeah,
They pay for that fucking energy.
exactly.
That's what I've seen.
And if you've ever been to a live wrestling show, you know that's true. It doesn't matter how many people are in the audience or how big the arena is. The energy.
I've never
is what
been
makes
to a live one, but yeah, no, absolutely. I can see it just watching watching it on TV, like the energy that's there, how excited people get.
Yep.
No matter, yeah, I think it's probably one of the most exciting things I've seen in a long time.
I'll be honest with you, even researching this shit sort of got me re-interested to an extent. I mean, bearing in mind, once again, I mean, we're talking about the 80s. I was a little kid. So, I mean, of course, wrestling was shit.
Yeah.
For no other reason than it was these super...
Well, and they would talk about American heroes. And when we were kids, everything was all about, yeah, America, woo, come on,
So,
you know.
Look at someone like Sergeant Slaughter, right? Sergeant Slaughter I knew from G.I. Joe, but then I also saw him on fucking wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that was a whole thing attached to it where I was just like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. I don't want to see him lose because he was part of G.I. Joe. So there was a whole there was an inner working thing that occurred that honestly didn't happen a lot with a lot of other shit. Like there was a cross reference between all these different medias with wrestling.
Fun fact: the Sergeant Slaughter thing, he actually left the WWF at that time when he did the GI Joe thing because they wouldn't let him do it.
But yeah, I'm sure Hasbro probably had some shit involved.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't even Hasbro. It was WWF. Like Vince didn't want.
Because it actually started with the WWF.
Yeah.
When it came down to asking the wrestler Sergeant Slaughter to pick one or the other, my suspicion was he'd run with Hasbro because he was getting royalties based off of his fucking likeness.
Yeah, well, you get a figurine either way.
Well, that and he was able to go to another promotion, the AWA.
Which,
and wear the GI Joe logo and everything on their television program.
Yeah,
but it's even then though. Like if you look at, all right, so when I was once again back to me being a little kid because that's most of what I remember about this. The fact is, the first time I ever saw a cross-referenced universe was with wrestling, a Saturday morning thing that was like an afterthought behind cartoons.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, like there was this whole thing. Which is also leads into the other questions I was asking, like somebody like Vader walking out with the fucking
elephant mask.
Yeah, like with the shit they were doing, how did they not get sued? They didn't get sued, I'm guessing, from a little bit from what I've read and also from our conversations, that legitimately it was a cross-reference thing. It helped everybody. It was a total promotional thing. And it was brilliant.
People used to hold each other's hands, whereas now everybody's like, get off my lawn.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
well, even still today, though, like some of the wrestlers will incorporate like pop culture into their gear.
Well,
to get recognition for a certain brand or something like that.
Well, even Mysterio's name, right? Mysterio. Yeah. Mysterio is a reference to a Marvel comic character, right?
Yep.
It is. It's something that triggers
in a sense, but Rey Mysterio, the Luchador, the name just it literally translates to King of Mystery.
Well, yeah, it does, but I'm saying like this is at a time when Marvel was first taken off too, and I say first taken off, but
yeah, that was all.
Thing.
But
the original. Well, I mean, I think we talked about Sting before. The first time I ever experienced Sting was in the '80s with these bright colors and this fucking pretty makeup. He looked like a step away from fucking Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean?
Well, they were actually tag team partners when they got started.
Oh, see, there you go. It's crazy to me how much of that shit actually falls over on itself.
They came in together actually, like Sting and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that even to this day.
Well, like who was that guy back in the 80s? There was a guy named Flying Brian.
Flying Brian Pillman. Yep.
All right, there you go.
Steve Austin's former tag team partner.
Once again, though, it was like this whole like hypercolor fucking bigger than life. I mean, look at the fucking Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
tassels, the colors, everything that was there. It was meant to.
That's why people loved him. He couldn't work worth the shit, but he had the energy and he had the charisma that people wanted.
And absolutely. Like if you had a casual fan, if you had somebody who was just watching at the end of their
fucking when you're trying to bring people in, just like anything we do in this world, when you're trying to bring people in, you grab from what's going on right then and there. You flash it at them, and it becomes a thing. And then all of a sudden you have a lot of fans that weren't fans before.
Which is, I mean, that is a big, like that happened all through the late 80s, all through the early 90s. Yeah. I mean, bearing in mind, like I asked one question about Andre the Giant, but he's a guy, like like as we discussed before, like that dude, literally larger than life. I mean, still, even to this day, to my knowledge, like what did you have a Big Show or Triple H? Maybe
Big Show was about 7'3" in his prime,
which is still like that seems huge, but it wasn't Andre the Giant.
Andre only had an inch on him, believe it or not.
The one fact that stuck with me, obviously, was when he passed away.
Yeah, 1993.
1993. Yep, exactly.
The original WWE Hall
about
of Famer.
that. I'll get it immediately because he was like literally one of my favorite characters of all time.
How could it not be? Up there wearing his fucking singlet wrapped over one shoulder because no singlet was big enough to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he was like it was like kind of like Captain Caveman, but not.
Well, it's like what did I say? What is the best way you could picture something like Andre the Giant is if you went to a fucking sideshow and saw something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh no, absolutely, absolutely.
And it's funny you say that because wrestling got its start in the circus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how touring wrestling, like as we know it today, that's how it got its start, was in traveling circuses and everything. People, people challenging members of the audience to come in and wrestle.
Yeah.
That's what the dude Shrek was based on, the fucking French wrestler.
The French Angel.
Gigantism, who just happened to also fucking run the show at the time. He was something you would not see otherwise.
It just didn't affect him like it did Andre. Like Andre grew tall and like big.
And big. He was big and tall.
Oh,
but the fella you're talking about that Shrek's based off, the French Angel, Maurice Tillet.
Maurice, yeah, there we go.
He had the same disease, but it only affected his head, his hands, and his feet.
Right.
He didn't grow, but that's what made him such a unique character in wrestling. He had that look.
The time you would see him is on a wrestling circuit because he would not.
Or horror movie.
Somebody like or horror movie, yeah. Or like the thing is with Andre the Giant, something that big when you're looking at two dimensions on a screen as a kid, like when me as a little kid, I saw Hulk Hogan lift him up over his head, and that seemed like a superhuman goddamn feat to me.
Yeah.
Because what he lifted was not like nobody should be able to fucking do that. You lifted a god.
Yeah.
And what's even more amazing is the fact that Andre the Giant at the time was suffering from such severe back issues from his fucking height.
He had recently had back surgery.
His size alone just hindered him in so many ways.
What's like when he tells Hulk Hogan, because he knew he was passing the title. He knew he was doing it, so he's like, "You just got to do it. We got to get through it. You pick me up, we do it."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just that is a consummate fucking professional right there. That is amazing.
And
he was okay with that.
And as I'm sure, Terry, I think you saw it in some of the roundtable discussions you watched, because I've watched those conversations. They're really good. They're really addicting. I love watching the old legends tell the stories and everything.
Actually, out of everything I've watched so far, that's my favorite thing to watch.
Exactly. And it's such a sad thing that a lot of those guys are no longer alive.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Dusty Rhodes, Mean Gene Okerlund, Roddy Piper, Pat Patterson.
Yep.
You know, those guys.
Roddy Piper, like he actually lived a decent.
I mean, and that guy was actually like essentially the inventor of the shit talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like seriously, like that for me, if I was going to be a fan of wrestling, it's about them talking back and forth and using almost zero cuss words. For goodness sake.
That's amazing.
Back in the day, especially.
Just talking shit back and forth. Like I like that part is what I would have to take being a fan of, if I was going to be a fan, it would be that.
Absolutely.
You need to go back and watch stuff from like the NWA from like the early 80s with Piper and Flair.
The dog collar match. The dog collar match with Greg Valentine.
Starrcade 1983. Go watch it.
Just that event in the whole is great, but that dog collar match.
But I decided I'm not going backwards on the whole train. I'm becoming a fan from now because they air entirely too much for me to try to catch up with all of this.
They do, but it is nice to go back and like.
And eventually, you know,
from.
when I'm going to continue on the round table stuff because I really do enjoy that. I like history more. You know, I really like watching the history of that stuff. And some of the stories. Oh my gosh! And I'm like, how did this ever become family TV? Oh, that's right. They didn't know that was going on.
Exactly.
But
what I was getting at though was on those discussions. I've seen the conversation take place. If Andre didn't want you to pick him up, he wasn't going to let you.
Oh gosh, no. Oh gosh, no.
If he didn't like you, he was going to let you know.
Yeah, no, that guy's hand would hide a beer.
Yeah, regular 12, this beer bottle.
We do it with two hands.
Like,
come on.
The picture of him holding
yeah.
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 The can next to his
just holding a bush can.
Who drink 5 buckets of wine? Come on.
He holds the world record for most beers down in one sitting.
Yeah, that was the Rick Flair, like 3 or 4 other wrestlers. Like we were there. There was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no, he actually holds the Guinness Book of World Records
for most beers drinking.
And I was waiting for that to be a question, even a 2-parter. What was the record and how much?
There was the Beyond the Mat thing when they were talking about the shit they used to go through back in the day, right? You guys watch that? I'm assuming the Beyond the Mat.
It's been a long time, but yeah, I've seen it.
Well, I've seen it, but I don't remember anything from it.
It was the heels versus face thing, and the fact that all of them were actually friends behind the scene for the most part. Yeah. Like they were all. I
think I know where you're going with this. Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik in a cocaine bust.
Yeah, the car wreck, right? The Iron Sheik thing.
Like, they got pulled over or something.
Always doing
something where they had to pretend like
the cops. Yeah, the cops pulled them over or some shit like that.
Yeah, and they had to. Yeah, in case you got out, they had to pretend they weren't in the same vehicle.
Yeah,
which is, to me is the most amazing thing that they were willing to like. I mean, they were fucking professionals in what they were doing.
Back in the business.
The sad thing is like what we mentioned earlier, the lifespan of a professional wrestler is almost nothing. I mean, it's comparable to a fucking lineman in the NFL. Like they themselves to do this.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of them didn't have that CTE, just like a lot of the football players.
Oh God, they would have to. I mean, if you look
at
prevalent in wrestling,
they're gaming finishers where you have somebody jumping off of a fucking top.
Yeah, seriously.
300 pounds worth of fucking dead weight falling on you, even if they're trying to fucking mitigate what
not and adjust. Yeah, right.
I'm hoping I catch you in the crook of my fucking armpit and not with my elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna happen, but I hope.
2 words.
It's amazing.
Chris Benoit. You want CTE? Perfect example right there.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
but you know what's funny though is like they never like you heard about it, right? You did hear about the fact that there may have been some concussive issues there, but they never actually flat out say there are.
Oh, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah,
100%.
For Benoit, they did because they dissected his brain
his dad sold his brain to science to be studied.
Yeah, they saw that it was
really know
turning gray.
It was in the same condition as an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
Mm-hmm.
And he was only 38.
Yeah. Like, okay, it makes me wonder about, maybe O.J. Simpson and, many people who had a lot of violent issues and why those violent issues maybe came out a little more later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like football player Junior Seau, he killed himself. He knew
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez, where they knew something was going on with their brain, but they didn't know what. And now, we know what it is.
Yeah, we have the answers, but it's just too late. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just things we find out later because science has to catch up, right?
Yep. It's a weird, sick lesson, is what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But,
well, and then we, just like race car drivers or any other super put yourself in danger sport, you choose to do it. You know that there's a danger to it. Most of us shrug it off because we don't want to think about it. no matter what it is. Like, I like to ride dirt bikes and stuff. You know, we don't like to think about what we're doing exactly when we're doing it, but we do it and we're having fun.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just, but if you'll notice, like Terry, you'll notice this in today's wrestling, they don't, at least not in WWE, they don't go for the head so much anymore because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also notice, and this is something I wish I didn't notice as much, they actually, you can see the communication a little more.
Yeah, they definitely communicate with each other in the ring more, and unfortunately, you can hear it,
you can see
and it
the
drives me nuts.
communication a little more.
It's not supposed to be quiet.
Side note, James, this is something we've discussed before, and I can't remember the names.
Okay.
The great Japanese guy, had him come over, and there was an entire thing he was supposed
with Muhammad Ali.
No, this was in the
Great Muda.
Great Muda.
Was that it? That might be it. Actually, no. It was an Italian name. The Great something.
Great Antonio.
Japan. Antonio.
He was actually not a Japanese wrestler, but he was.
But he was in Japan wrestling.
Yeah, he was very famous in Japan. Yeah.
When the deal was set, like, this is how this is supposed to end. This is what we're supposed to do.
Antonio Inoki beat the living shit out of him. Antonio Inoki beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah. No, so that was actually, I didn't watch the wrestling match. I saw it later, obviously, in internet clips.
Right.
But it kind of it really hit home for me. The fact is, fine, okay, it's not a wrestling match has a set winner. Mm-hmm. There's a decision being made because there's a storyline that is meant to be progressed.
Yeah.
Right. In this particular case, for anybody who happens to run across this on YouTube, a guy gets called over from America, and he's a big dude. I mean, we're talking 300 pounds worth of fucking. He's a combination of fat and muscle, and mostly muscle. This is a big boy. Goes to Japan to deal with
their Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, their version of Hulk Hogan. Their guy who is literally, he is the end-all be-all of Japanese wrestling. He is meant to take a fall. That is his only purpose in going and accepting this fight. And instead, he decides to, I guess, be super American. I don't know what you would call it at the time. He decided.
Pulp Fiction.
He went into business. They call that in wrestling going into business for yourself.
Yeah. There you go. He had another goal in mind, wherein he was going to embarrass this man. This man decided not to take any falls, not to, like, I mean, dude was bouncing off the ropes and running a clotheslines in which he would get knocked over.
Yeah.
Because
he was supposed to, he wasn't giving him the reactions he was supposed to be
doing. I mean, a 200-pound guy clotheslining somebody that's 300 pounds is not going to do anything. That's not how a fucking clothesline works. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, once again, for anybody who happens to run across this on YouTube, the Great Antonio got his ass handed to him because that dude got angry and decided to let loose.
And Antonio Inoki was a very well-trained martial artist before he ever became a professional wrestler. And when Great Antonio did what he did in that match, Antonio Inoki was like, "Oh, hell no. This ain't how, you're not doing this on my turf. You're not doing this on my turf, buddy. I brought you over here. You're gonna learn a lesson."
This was
okay. So it's like the other day, I was watching some of the newer stuff, last season, and there's a female wrestler called Dewdrop.
Yes.
And I'm looking at these tiny girls, even though they're big for what they do, and I'm like,
that's quite a big lady.
Yeah. And I, I just, in the real world, little girls don't mess with big girls like that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying because, that's the whole thing. Like, obviously, it's not real combat because if it was,
no, because in the real world, she just fucking she did this move where she knocked them both down, and I said, "Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen."
I don't know though. If you go back and watch some of the old UFC pay-per-views, you can see Hoist Gracie beating up dudes that are like 500 fucking pounds. Choking them out.
And you can fight out of your weight class. I do see people do that. I'm not saying I haven't even done that in my lifetime. but usually smaller girls don't even try to approach a girl that size.
But as far as like striking combat and stuff, I can understand.
Yeah.
Like the realism's just not fucking there. But
it's all right. It's American kabuki.
Pretty much, it's theater. It's all it is. It's theater.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's done in such a way. Like the thing that gets me is if you get somebody like what's his name? Help me out.
Mick Foley.
All right, Mick Foley,
Yes.
that motherfucker. Like I've got nothing but respect for the man. I mean, like he sacrificed so much of himself.
Yeah.
To sell it. Like that's. I mean,
Yeah.
As far as we know, there's still an ear laying on a sidewalk in Germany. And some teeth laying in Philadelphia somewhere.
Well, that's kind of the whole point. Is the dude was literally like he was hiding fucking razors in his fucking gloves and shit.
Yeah.
In order to cut
everybody was back in those days. Any blader had.
Oh no, and that's the thing that happened. Man. This guy was literally might as well have been shaving his fucking face off. You know what I mean?
But a lot of the time he wasn't even blading. He was literally doing it the hard way.
Are you talking about the barbed wire thing?
Yeah, like they would seriously smack him in the face with barbed wire, and that's what would cut him. He would not blade.
Yeah. Well, even then, that also goes back to the Hogan fucking Andre thing.
Abdullah the Butcher, on the other hand.
Oh man.
If you've ever heard of Abdullah the Butcher, look up a picture of this guy. He's still alive. He's in his 70s now, but a legend of the game. Never won a world title, but everybody knows who the fuck he is. He just went everywhere. I have actually seen him in person. Intimidating as fuck when you're 11 years old. You look at him today and you're just like, what? Like, why would you do this? Look at his fucking forehead. He's got these scars in his head. Bald dude. They're so deep he can put a fucking poker chip in. It's like
that sucks.
Why would you cut yourself that bad, that much?
Entertainment.
And
yeah.
That's what got the money back then.
And
especially back then,
another
really
thing that makes
the
you
shock
ask
value then.
Yeah.
Well, it's like even if you're looking at if you were looking at a pay-per-view event where there were cameras, there were still people in the crowd that had to be able to see it fucking 5 rows back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like these guys knew what they are. Like I said, consummate fucking professionals.
Right.
It is a shame to me that they have to sacrifice so much of themselves to make it happen, but they do.
Yeah.
Now people live way the frick up here in those shows.
But again, back to Mick Foley, like with the Abdullah the Butcher thing, it's just gratuitous violence. Like if you look at Mick Foley, not the best wrestler in the world, but had one of the most memorable matches in the world with The Undertaker, King of the Ring 1998, Hell in a Cell. The match shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. Like the match, it should have been over whenever he hit the concrete floor after being thrown off the fucking cage.
Yeah.
And through a table. I don't know how he even survived that. But then
it broke his fall. Don't build it up. It's fine.
No, it wasn't supposed to happen though. Like
there's a lot of things that weren't supposed to happen in a certain degree of wrestling that did happen.
But that match, nothing that they had planned out.
Yeah.
Nothing. They had to completely call it on the fly. And one of the first things that happens, like 90 seconds in, Undertaker grabs Mick Foley and just chucks him off the fucking cage. He misses the table for the most part. Had he landed on it like he was supposed to, it wouldn't have been near as bad as it was.
Yeah.
But he missed it. The table still broke because his legs caught it. But he almost smacked his head on the guardrail.
Yeah.
Like right behind the table. They carry him out on a stretcher. He gets off the stretcher, climbs back on top of the fucking cage. And the Undertaker go back at it up top there. Undertaker throws him through the cage. Again, not supposed to happen. The cage roof just broke away underneath him.
And so that was 280 pounds worth of weight at something.
And he just smacked the mat like a watermelon.
On a side note, I'm really actually trying to get us an Undertaker on the show.
Oh, real? Oh, like an actual Undertaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a side note, I'm actually trying to get us a real Undertaker.
We can talk about the here when they hit the cartilage.
But long story short, but before, I'd say probably 2010, 2011, when they really started cracking down on concussion protocol and just overall injuries, because you'll notice a lot of guys these days are lasting a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like The Miz.
Well, it's like you said, they're not.
As much as I hate him, he's never injured.
No, which is like, and that's probably an important way to go. I mean, the fact is, it is entertainment. You got, all right. So if you have two dudes who, quite frankly, weigh the same as a fucking bear,
right?
Yeah.
Going at each other, even in a bouncing ring, and they're not bouncing super hard, like it's plywood.
No, it's still a hit. I don't give a fuck what you say.
That
it's
also,
still a hit.
but that also, like, it doesn't affect the wrestlers themselves. What that's there for is strictly entertainment value.
I did gymnastics as a kid. Those springboards aren't any nicer.
They don't mean shit.
No, and they don't. That's the point. Especially like the bigger you get.
Yeah. The
fact is,
yeah.
like,
No. Those springboards don't do shit for you.
Back to the point. These guys literally sacrifice their bodies in order to sell the fucking show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. There is no like degree where they don't. There is, I mean, just the bodybuilding aspect to make sure they're as big as they are is a sacrifice on their bodies.
The flexibility on some of them. That's what kills me. Like if you gotta, like, all right, first of all, I'm not gonna say that everybody's on some type of roid, but there are certain aspects of the human body that do not occur without outside help.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just fucking don't. I'm not gonna say who. I'm gonna say that I ran across quite a lot in my research.
Oh, you will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely will.
Yeah.
What they do to themselves to sell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Obviously, they fucking care about what they're doing, which is why I don't like. I'm not a wrestling person, but I can understand why somebody is.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit there and look at that and be like, all right, well, that's just fucking stupid. It's fake. It's not the fake that you mean.
Yeah.
It's not nobody. Like, people are seriously injuring themselves to sell and further a storyline for a year.
Yeah.
To make money.
It is a fucking, like, people are sacrificing themselves in order to make sure the story goes right.
Back in the day, they said that the money was just a side piece. It was more about the partying and the
Back
girls.
in the day, for sure.
Oh yeah, that was
back in the day, 100%.
Back in the day, the money was great. That was literally a side piece for them. It was more about the thrill of the life.
That was there
it's
was
a lifestyle.
Jake the Snake Roberts being a
Jake
main
the I love Snake.
Me and Tony were talking about it earlier. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. He would rather be on the road. He couldn't stand being home. He'd be home for a day. And would need to leave.
Exactly. I was watching last night's.
Oddly, for that dude, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was watching.
That's where he came up. That's how people knew him.
Yep, I watched the Hulu edit of last night's Monday Night Raw, which was the 30th anniversary special.
Yeah,
and Hulk Hogan's the first person to come out.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting there going, it's actually nice to see Hulk Hogan still able to get up and walk around. And he's not
like he didn't like
he's not
arthritis
in terrible
alone.
shape for his age.
No, arthritis alone could be a
and you can tell it's affecting him, but he's not letting his love for the business run his life anymore. And that's the thing that Ric Flair can't do.
Yeah.
He has too much love and passion for it. And I respect the hell out of it. But you're 76 years old.
Yeah.
Something that it does, like,
you haven't looked good in 20 fucking years.
Somebody like Hulk Hogan, it is amazing when you stop, like, once again, as a side viewer for this, somebody who's not that into it, the fact that there are so many professional wrestlers that are able to bridge the gap between what they're doing in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They're
now,
good
absolutely.
Actors, and they are good at what they do.
Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I mean, even if, all right, so John Cena, I'm sure everybody goes, John Cena. Did you see him at Peacemaker? He's fucking incredible.
He's a great human being.
Okay, my first memory of John Cena acting, however, though, is Fred the movie on freaking Nickelodeon, where that kid thinks John Cena's his dad. And I didn't watch that because I wanted to. It was because my kids are like, you have to watch this. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I watching? But that's my first introduction to John Cena.
Mine was a very weird looking haircut, some purple tights, white boots, and Kurt Angle.
Okay, I might have seen him
He was trying to
differently
make his way in.
elsewhere, but that's why I know.
Oh man, I remember that match like it was
So
yesterday.
many guys. So these are 100% not what Hollywood looks for either. They're not. They're like a big dude with a weird fucking accent, possibly in some cases. That is not what Hollywood looks for. The fact
but horror movies, they're great for horror movies.
Well, yeah, look at Kane and fucking See No Evil.
That's a great movie. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
No,
Dude, even in Zombie Strippers, who runs the door? He's the MMA though, I think.
Oh hell.
Oh, Zombie Strippers. You're
Oh fudge! I can't think of it right now. Oh, he runs the door, but I'm pretty sure he's MMA. He's not wrestler, so who cares, right?
Who knows?
That's not what we're talking about right now.
Now you got me curious.
I know. Later, just type it out. Scream it in the middle of the night. It's okay.
Either way, the original point being that these guys know what the fuck they're doing. They're actually trained actors.
And stuntmen.
They're actors and stuntmen too.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, look at all right. So in They Live, right? Roddy Piper, John. So in They Live, right? You
Tito Ortiz is who you're thinking of, Terry. Tito Ortiz.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Actually, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
John Carpenter, though, been dealing with trying to make They Live. He wanted an everyman who was also bigger than life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he went with fucking Roddy Piper, and Christ, who the fuck could you have gotten at the time that could have fit that fucking bill?
No.
He's the only guy.
And again, the original shit talker. The original shit talker.
And a lot of
Go ahead, Tony.
A lot of those lines Piper wrote himself. He kept a notebook
come here to chew
of one-liners.
The best part about that. The best part about that line, Jason, is that he spit out his last piece of gum for the day right before they did the take.
Come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
And I'm all out of bubble gum.
That line is a brilliant line. The idea that they're just a bunch of fucking bodies hanging out and kicking the shit out of each other, it's more than that. Yeah. And once again, this is coming from somebody, it's a side thing for me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I respect what I watch. They're good at what they do, and they put their bodies on the line to do it because they want to sell the product. And you can say what you want about it. Say that it's fucking rigged. Say that it's not a real thing. Who gives a shit if it's real? It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of physicality. These people are real athletes, and they sell it.
As someone who's done it, like I have a whole new respect for the guys who continue to fucking do it, because I fucked my knee up and had to quit. And if it wasn't for that,
it's hard. No, to do anything in this freaking world, it's hard.
Right.
You hurt anything in
that's it. I couldn't afford the time off work, so I had to quit wrestling. Keep working. So, but yeah.
In physical therapy, you see sports people more than anything because they push and push and push and push.
Exactly. And it keeps their body in.
Yeah.
So, but man, we blew through all that trivia, didn't we?
Yep.
It's only 18.
Oh, we're done. We've been done with trivia.
Shoot. I know. Now we're just bullshitting it. I kind of like it. But
to be fair, though, it could have been 24 questions, but the last questions I came up with, I'll say it again. I was not sure about what was okay and what was not okay to ask. I was I had 6 more that I was gonna ask, and
now I kind of want to just do it for fun round.
No, I didn't write them down because I was like, "There's no fucking way." Like I was literally, like, legitimately. I'll be honest with you. I'm very impressed with the both of you. You guys too. You were there.
As usual.
Like you guys nailed some of the fucking questions. I was like, "There's no fucking way." There were some I knew you would get, like the fucking Ric Flair question. I knew you were gonna get that, right? Like, who the fuck wouldn't get that?
Right.
Like, I mean, Terry Bollea. First off, Terry Bollea. Okay, does anybody once again who happens to work that is Hulk Hogan, right?
Hulk Hogan, yes.
Average.
That sounds so familiar because I'm a Terry.
Yeah.
There you go. I know it because of fucking the something Commando. What
Urban Commando.
That was it. That's why I know who his fucking name is. Right?
You're gonna pound my face. What are you nuts? This is the 90s.
I'm
We're gonna
Terry,
sue you.
and I lived in Vallejo, and that's how I'll remember it
Oh, there you
forever.
go.
That is the only reason that I fucking know the name. And that's the reason I knew to look it up. I knew to look, and also because that was a moment in wrestling history.
It was no.
Fun
Like
fact.
I watched that movie, because I was already a fan of Hulk Hogan. Like he's the person who brought the fucking fans. Jesus.
Suburban Commando also has the Undertaker in it.
Yeah.
Does it really?
I think so too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
He's
it
one
does.
of the villains. He's one of the space villains.
He was one of my first.
He's the one with the really high
when
pitched
he
voice.
came in, the Undertaker.
The one with the really
he was
high
one of
pitched
my
voice.
secondary favorites because of the creepy aspect. And again, it was hard to get my mom to feed my creepy side.
Oh well, you guys saw you guys saw the second part to Gremlins, right?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the first time outside of No Holds Barred that I remember seeing a wrestler in any type of major production was in the second Gremlins, and that was Hulk Hogan yelling at the screen about fucking popcorn and the fact that people came to watch the shit and blah 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 blah. That was like that moment to me was when it suddenly hit. I was like, oh, actually, that might have been the moment where I stopped watching wrestling. That might have been the thing that tipped it off. But bearing in mind, I mean, I always sort of understood because there's, like I said, no way 800 pounds worth of human being hits 800 pounds worth of human being and somebody doesn't die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing. But I will say that watching that fucking movie, the Gremlins 2, and it was meant to be a joke. It was an inside joke. It was an understood Hollywood thing. Hulk Hogan, to me, his first appearance on screen was that.
Yeah.
And it was only because he appeared as Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it was Suburban Commando where I suddenly realized that he had a different name, and then it became this whole thing where I realized that all of these guys had different names. And that this was just because, I mean, like, once again, a little kid, I'm just watching big dudes hit each other. Like Big Bam Bigelow pops up, and I'm just like, Big Bam Bigelow.
Yep.
That's what that is. It wasn't.
I was a little girl, an only child, little girl with dad who was like, let's do something. So, you know, wrestling was like that thing. So I definitely had wrestling buddies, but in the 80s.
Yeah. It was just my thing. Like I come across it in the mid-90s and was hooked ever since. Steve Austin came across my TV and I was like, nope, I'm not turning it around. This guy is he's my jam, and I've been following ever since.
Yeah,
But,
for me that was horror movies.
Listen, I'm pretty well rounded.
I would actually
horror movies and metal music. Yes,
music.
I would argue legitimately that wrestling probably led for a lot of people's love of horror movies.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, it's once again, it's the idea that these superhuman things fighting each other, and they
look at Leatherface. Leatherface is freaking huge, man.
Dude, Leatherface is a fucking wrestler. He is a
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna step away for a second, guys.
You're good.
I mean, wait, which one was that? Mankind who had the leather stuff,
Exactly.
you know?
Well, see,
right?
yeah. Well, that all goes back into the other thing, like with how do they do this shit without getting sued?
Yeah. Yes.
How the fuck did Mick Foley not get sued?
Again, I think it's because people used to hold hands, and now everybody's out for themselves.
Well, there was a wrestler in Japan who was Leatherface, where he did have the mask on. It would go around with a chainsaw.
Really?
So,
like full on just fucking straight up Leatherface.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, but in Japan, they do a lot of things like that. Come on.
I was going to say, was it because he knew they were in Japan? Consequently, chances are
that nobody from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to get a hold of this guy wrestling in Japan and be like, "Hey, you got to stop the gimmick over there."
Well, it's like we were talking about that. Well, if you were looking at that, like we were talking about fucking what's the name, Sting. All right, like originally when I saw Sting, it was all hypercolors and pretty
yeah.
makeup.
Yep.
But later, after the Crow came out, it was
yes.
and fucking white and black makeup. How did they not? How was there not an
I'm not sure. I know Eric Bischoff, he's talked about that a few times on various podcasts, but they never went after WCW, I don't think. It was just that was Scott Hall's idea was to change Sting's gimmick to like the Crow, and they even refer to him as the Crow Sting, like that's what he's known as.
Yeah.
But they never, whoever made, I don't know who made the Crow Touchstone or whoever made it, never went after Turner Broadcasting when they easily could have.
Now, I wish they'd go after everybody who tried to make a remake after that movie.
I concur. I miss most of
Eddie
what y'all were
Furlong
talking
did
about.
do one that I kind of appreciated, but it's just the same story over and over again, not done right.
Right.
Just Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee did it right, and you just can't. I just
You
can't
gotta leave it alone.
do it anybody else.
Gotta leave it alone. That's my opinion on the Crow.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Don't remake it.
Isn't there a new one? Isn't there a new one coming up?
Yes,
Like, they're
and I
making one
think
right
there's
now
a
or coming out this
wrestler or
summer.
somebody playing the Crow, right?
I guess.
No, it's Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, okay. I don't know. No, I don't know. It depends on the writing, I guess.
I don't know, man. The makeup looked pretty good. Like there were
The makeup looked good, but again, it goes
It's
to
my
the
heart,
writing.
Jason.
It goes to the writing.
All right, so dude, I saw that movie fucking 4 times in the theaters. There was nothing else like it when it came out, right? Like,
Yeah.
Have you seen it on Blu-ray?
I have not seen it on Blu-ray. I've
Check
seen
the
it
Blu-ray out.
I've
It's
seen it
so
on-
much clearer.
Oh,
So much clearer. It's so much better of a watch.
Well, you have to-
honestly.
all right, so
I
from-
normally don't say that about shit like that, but like
yeah.
the Crow,
From
they
my
cleared it up a
perspective, you have
lot.
the Crow coming out in 90. What was it? 94.
94,
90.
95.
I want to say
90.
93, 94, or 95.
93. I think it was
there.
93.
Yeah.
So in 1993, The Crow comes out. I saw it 4 times in the theater because at the time, when a movie came out, it would be a fucking year before you saw it at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It would just take-
Yeah.
So I saw it 4 times in the theater. I remember every time I saw it, I was like, man, movies will never get better than this. That's literally what I thought. I was like, this is it. This is the moment. Like, it's comic books and fucking movies.
Oh
have become
God, that
big.
movie was amazing. Yeah, even for
But
now.
never mind, though, fucking 3 years later, The Matrix came out.
Yeah. 94.
I
Yeah.
saw that movie fucking
Crow
5
came out in
times.
94.
I thought Matrix came out like, well, it doesn't matter. Point of the matter is,
The Crow, the Crow came out in 94.
So The Crow came
Okay.
out in
Okay.
Matrix was 98. I believe.
96. Was 96 The Matrix, or was it after that?
98, I think.
I want to say the Matrix was
later
98.
90s.
I just know
Yeah.
it was the next movie that I remember seeing where I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is
99.
it. Oh my God. And no way.
The Matrix. The Matrix was 99. Yep.
99.
Like, I'm about to check it
Jesus.
because I don't believe it. But I guess it could be right.
Yep. I just Googled it. That's what IMDb
Well,
says.
no, I guess that makes sense. It would have to be because of the bullet time shit.
Mhm.
All right, so fine, 1999. That was well. Even then, though, if you go back,
That's a jump. That's a
it is a
jump.
jump. But that, like, what came out in between them that was that was better? I mean, there was a limited release for fucking.
There's a lot of things. Okay,
The Christian
let's say
Bale
this. There's a
thing,
lot
where
of
he
things,
was
but we
fucking
remember both of those
Scottish.
clearly.
Yeah.
Remember the Crow and the Matrix more than any of them.
Well, you had all right. So the Crow, and then there was the fucking Equilibrium, is what I'm thinking about. That came out in '96, and then there was the Matrix.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? Equilibrium had a limited release. I didn't see that until after I saw the Matrix. So the Matrix was like a whole step up from the Crow.
Yeah.
But the Crow was like this major moment in movies for me.
Yeah.
That was a moment where everything became what it could be.
Mhm.
Like, finally fantasy managed to catch up to the fucking movie making fucking magic. There
Right.
wasn't there was nothing else that you like. I mean, there were horror movies the entire time, but that was all like visual effects
Yeah.
and actual real
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
This shit was something new, and it was amazing. How we got from Sting to this, I'm not sure.
It was
The Crow.
the Crow thing.
Point of the matter is, the Matrix.
Copywriting.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if
Continue.
the new one had a wrestler in it. That's where it went. Sorry, guys.
Nope, all good. But
So since we're talking about all these actors, we gotta involve Jesse Ventura too.
of course.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
of the classics in Predator and The Running Man. I think he's very underrated in The Running Man because everybody thinks the Predator.
No, he absolutely.
Oh, he's great in The Running Man.
He is great in The Running
And
Man.
also,
And
one
wasn't
of
he
the
a
best fucking
governor
one-liners
too?
in any
Governor of
action
Minnesota.
I ain't
Yeah.
got time to bleed.
Governor
That
of
fucking
Minnesota.
line. I ain't got time to bleed. That fucking
I
line.
ain't got time to bleed. Yep.
Better than any of the.
Son of a
I don't
bitch
even
is
like
dug
Arnold
in there
Schwarzenegger.
like an Alabama tick.
Yeah. And even though the whole speech he gives on the helicopter ride in, great shit. Great shit.
Yep. I can't repeat it here, but yeah.
Yes.
You know, the fucking Jesse Ventura was absolutely. Well, then again, that also goes back to the thing. These guys are actors, and they're good actors.
Oh yeah, they are. No, they have to act shit many times a
have to
week.
be to get
like
it over.
any other sitcom person, except for they do it. As I was saying, they do it like
While getting
almost.
their ass beat.
Jesus Christ! There's so many episodes just on
Yeah.
Monday.
Daily.
Just on Monday.
Yeah, but it's not even the weekly television shows that they're doing. They're doing spot shows on the the nights that they're not on TV. So they're literally doing this shit 7 days a week, 365
Oh,
days.
no, they're in full character anytime they're in front of. Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime there's an audience, they are in character doing their thing. They might not always be wrestling, but they're there.
The whole heels versus faces thing, like the fact that they drop into a role and run with it until they're told to go otherwise.
So now I'm going to probably touch on a touchy subject for some. How do you wrestling fans feel about the show The Young Rock?
I've never seen it. I've just heard reviews. I've never watched it a single second of it.
I'm not a wrestling fan. It's a cute show.
How do you feel about it?
It's okay. So if the entire thing is supposedly based off of Dwayne's history, which
so he hung out with Andre. Like I've watched it.
He did when he was a kid. There's pictures of him.
No, exactly. That's the thing. There's actually, they actually redid. Like there are.
But now I take it as his dad was actually kind of a POS, and his grandma was a dirty. Like I'm looking at the underlying things that I'm seeing beyond the Hollywood spectrum. And I'm like,
it's all, yeah. His dad was a terrible person.
Yeah.
And a lot of what you see on the show never really happened, or, it's exaggerated a lot.
There was the fucking third or fourth episode from the first season with him stealing from the fucking gas station. He went back to the gas station and apologized. And
that was legit.
And bottom bought every Snickers bar in the freaking place, right?
My thoughts are that it may not be 100% accurate, but it's close enough for fucking government work.
No, The Rock.
I think he went and gave them back because people are like, "How dare you steal from somebody?"
I don't know if he did it because of that. I don't know if it was because he got guilted or if it's because he was honestly just like, I could pay it back now.
No, that's exactly why he did it. He made a video of himself doing it. So I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Okay, so I've always liked The Rock as an actor. Don't get me wrong, not in everything he's ever done, but personally.
Doom.
Yeah, Doom. That one where he was a ballerina. That
the game plan. I love that movie.
That's super cute. I think it's
love that fucking movie. Doom was
terrible.
Game plan
as an actor, I've always liked The Rock.
Yeah.
That CIA movie, that Central Intelligence movie, that shit was hilarious. Yeah.
Him and Kevin Hart.
Ronnie Weird did. He got to be the nerd in a movie.
He played The Rock in every movie that he's been in. Do you know, by the way, as far as long
all
as
he has to do,
I get a list of personal grievance, and this is important for me. The guy literally fucked up the entire DC universe because he has a clause in his contract about losing a fight on screen. He cannot lose a fight on screen. Playing fucking Black Adam. Black Adam is the antithesis to fucking Captain Marvel. Who wins in a fight between Captain Marvel and fucking Black Adam? Captain fucking Marvel. The entire DC universe, including Henry Cavill's fucking appearance at the end of fucking Black Adam, got shot because fucking The Rock will not lose a fight on screen.
It's a part of his
destroyed an entire universe.
He was taught to build a persona literally from early life, like from the second he came out of the
Maybe
womb.
it was, but you get paid that amount of money, goddamn it, you lose.
You can lose. You can lose. I think it's more of an ego thing. It's an ego thing.
Well, that was the whole thing. They approached him and asked him, and he said, "It's in my contract."
Yeah.
He literally responded to, and bear in mind, Warner Brothers has fucked the DC universe anyways. It's not him by himself, it's Warner Brothers. But the fact that they approached him and asked, and his answer was, "I do not lose on screen."
The DC universe has been messed up mainly because they can never keep a main character. I'm sorry, you gotta get love for a character.
Job, including Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, the fucking Superman, the best Superman.
Best Superman. I mean,
reprise his role because
not that I don't love. I mean, obviously, hello, Superman. Not that I don't love our original man, but you know, it was still a funny joke.
I think okay. So I think that it's. This is a weird thing. Obviously, I'm a little impassioned about it. That only bothers me. It's fucking like you took Black Adam. He's a fucking anti-hero. He is not a good guy. In the comic books, he's not a good guy.
No. They've been doing this a lot though in all of the universes. Come on.
Well, that also comes back to fucking WB.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's not alone in it. The WB.
Let's glorify the bad guy, and I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing in the world we live in now.
If you any of the DC stuff, like there is like Black Adam is an anti-hero at this point. He wasn't originally. Originally he was just a bad guy. But in this particular, like in our current run of shit, he is an anti-hero. There's a foreseeable reason as to what he becomes. He has his entire country that's all his. He protects it.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Doesn't give a fuck about anything else, and that's acceptable. That's cool. But the fact that you're willing to fuck everybody else out of a job because you don't lose a fight on screen. It's kind of a little
the whole storyline because you're not willing to lose a fight on screen. Sorry, alarms.
And bearing in mind, by the way, I'll also throw in that I understand why he stuck to that. I mean, it is what made him what he is. The Rock does not lose on screen. I get that. Fuck, he didn't even lose in the Scorpion King, and he was a fucking evil thing in that. Like bad CGI or no, he should have fucking lost, but he doesn't lose because he's not actually the bad guy.
Oh, the fucking CGI in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's fucked up about that? Like, there were actually the CGI people later.
What's fucked up about it is that Terminator 2 had far better CGI, and it was made.
God, I mean, look at like when Craig and I talked to Josh about like we were discussing the fact that literally when you look at anything that came after fucking Jurassic Park, there's no excuse for anything that happens.
There isn't.
My children will see a movie from our time and say, "Oh my God, what is this?" And they're like, "Wow, that is such great graphics." And I'm like, "Yeah, there was a point in time where there was actually
fucking 94."
I said there was a point in time. No, just even the video games. When you think about them wanting to play Minecraft and this kind of crap, when our generation worked so hard to make video games real, oh my goodness, that is my biggest
Well, okay, fine. I know we're going
back.
Fuck off wrestling.
Yep. Sorry.
But video games.
Hey, there's some good wrestling video games.
There's some great, but I was going to say one of the best video games I've ever played in my entire life had shit graphics. Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
That
I was going to go the other way when I first played Mortal Kombat back in the day on Genesis. Like my mind was blown away.
Yes.
Blown away.
Down toward High Punch. See, as far as the fucking Genesis back in the day when Mortal Kombat was released on that, I remember thinking that the Super Nintendo version was better, specifically because of motion. But I remember thinking nothing would ever be better than that. Right?
And then Mortal Kombat 2 came out and it blew that away.
No, exactly. No, seriously. Like so, like these movies. All right, when for me, the Genesis came out, and there was a release for the CD-ROM called Echo the Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you remember? Okay, so Echo the Dolphin, the fluidity of movement, the colors, everything that was on the screen, I was like, that's it. That's the best it's ever going to be. And then like 2 years later, the PlayStation came out. I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
The PlayStation came out. I was like, God, that's the best this will ever be.
uh,
And then the PS2 came out. And I was like, I got to get that now because that's the best this will ever fucking be. And it just kept going and going. And suddenly we're at a point where like there's very, very little difference between reality and the shit that people are playing on a screen.
depending on your generation. Depending on your generation, darn it.
No. That's exactly it. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's kids that are born now, like they pop up and they get a PS5 and this looks like shit. For me, the idea of like Hideo Kojima making another fucking Silent Hill on a PS5 leaves me a little moist.
One of the ones that I played, and it's here on the back wall, it's Conker's Bad Fur Day. And it was for Nintendo, and it was their first R-rated game.
All because of the shit jokes.
No. You also got to bounce off of a sunflower's boots.
Well, no. That happened. And it was the fucking turd.
Yeah, the Great Mighty Pooh for the Great Mighty Pooh.
Yeah.
That one was amazing.
He's the reason when they released it, they were like, well, this should be rated R. And they were like, you can't rate it R, it's a video game.
Oh. But they had. I don't know if you guys played
Conker's
it.
Bad Fur Day.
But
was it licensed by Nintendo though?
They had Saving Private
It was a Nintendo
stuff
game
in there. Like literally, it was a movie clip every level.
Right.
It was amazing. They had Jaws. They had Saving Private Ryan. They had freaking Alien. Everything. Like it's one of my all-time favorite games. My husband bought it for me during pandemic because I wanted to relive my glory days.
Conker's Bad Fur Day was originally released as Conker's Birthday.
Yeah.
Fucking was it Game Boy?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even Nintendo, it was Game Boy, but it was a Nintendo game. The property was bought by another studio and they released Conker's Bad Fur Day.
All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check because I got
a rating system is more based around Conker's than it is around anything else.
Yeah. No, like I said, I got the field guide back here and everything because seriously, that was like one of my favorite plays of all time.
Wait, back to Final Fantasy VII. So, like you were saying, Tony. So the idea that, like, to me, somebody looks at the original version of Final Fantasy VII and it looks like these weird bullshit graphics. To me, it was the most amazing thing I'd ever played. Like they do these zoom ins over the top with this music in the background, and you have your guys waiting for their fucking turn, and it was an amazing thing. Nothing ever beat that feeling for me, except for Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve got pretty fucking close.
What system was Final Fantasy VII on?
For me, it was a PS1.
Okay, all right.
Well.
And then there was part 1 and part 2 of Parasite Eve. And not to mention Resident Evil, which is the first. Like, bearing in mind, I mean, like Slaughterhouse, right? Like, we all know Slaughterhouse. Everybody here knows Slaughterhouse, I'm guarantee it.
Yeah.
All right, so the first time that I ever played Slaughterhouse was on a TurboGrafx 16, which, by the way, was the first system, like, home system that I'd ever seen where I was like, holy shit, it's done. This is it. It's an arcade. You know what I mean? That was the first horror game I'd ever played. And then I saw fucking Resident Evil on the PS1.
I will never lose the sounds of that game from my head.
Well, that's exactly it, right? I mean, look at the person, don't go through that door. Like, that is the dumbest fucking line that's ever been dropped in a video game, but it worked there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there was so much shit that happened in that game.
Just the zombies. No, I'm not kidding. The zombies are stuck in my head from that game.
It was the zombie dogs jumping through the window in the corridor that fucked me up.
Yes.
Like that, the first time I ever came across that shit, I almost peed myself.
Yeah, no, definitely a different creature coming at you, zombified, and they didn't really show that in many things before that.
They didn't. Like I said, the closest you would get was fucking Slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
and Slaughterhouse was basically Friday the 13th as a side scroller.
Yeah.
Right. Like, man, bear in mind though, it was still fucking great. I mean, but there has been this whole jump through video games, like even to what we are now. There are fucking like first person shooters that I look at on the PS5 and on the newest version of the Xbox They look like straight up fucking Romero horror movies. They are terrifying.
Yeah.
They're incredible. Like, speaking of which, Craig, you've actually been watching The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Fantastic. I mean, I don't want to ruin anything. I mean,
yeah, don't give me any spoilers.
Yeah, please don't.
I mean,
ruin it.
It's probably the
best
video game adaptation for like a B series I've seen.
You are not the only person I've heard say that, which gives me so much fucking hope.
No, that's pretty amazing.
All right. I will actually check it out then.
But,
I mean, there's like when you had the Resident Evil series, like the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movies, right? The first movie and the second movie were pretty good. I thought they were good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
and even the whole series, provided you don't know what it came from, is a decent movie series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Last of Us, though, like I wanted to play the game. I haven't played it because
the
I don't
game's
know
amazing.
the system. What's like
great.
Okay.
Okay.
But the last next gen system I bought was a fucking PS3. That's the last in it.
The problem is, guys, if I get into a video game, I'm gone for a minute.
That's part of it. There's the amount of time that you have to put into it. But for me, it was also because everything turned into this like first person issue.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I know that's some people's thing. It's not my thing. I mentioned Final Fantasy VII earlier. I like turn-based combat. I like people showing like you have time to think of that. Like I enjoyed Parasite Eve because it's a turn-based system, right? Even Parasite Eve 2, or the second one, I was cool with because I understood the characters. Everything that popped after that, it's a fucking action game. It's an action game where you're either stuck in a fucking perspective or you're right behind a perspective. That irritates the shit out of me. The Last of Us, on the other hand, that motherfucker pulled me in, even watching other people play it. And I don't understand watching other people play video games, but I liked that.
I don't get that shit either. I do not get that either. Like, why would you, especially when people watch it and don't actually play it? Like, it's one thing, like, I get going and looking up something on a video game because you got stuck. I get watching somebody because you're stuck on that point, but I don't get watching it and never playing the game at all.
My daughter loves watching. Loves watching.
No, my kid, like, that's why I say it. My kids do this, and I'm like, "But do you play it?" Well, no, and I'm like, "But then what's the point?" Old people, sorry.
Same point as it always is. It's wanting to know what the story is.
Yeah.
That just takes me back about 15 or so years. I got a GameCube, and then I had one game for it. And that game was WWE Day of Reckoning 2.
Oh, good. We brought it back around. Thank Christ.
Yeah, I had to. But anyway.
Yeah, that was quite tangent.
I have never beaten that game because every time I play it, I get stuck on one match. And it's a fatal 4-way ladder match. No matter what I do, I can never beat the fucking match. So I guarantee you, if I find that game and find another GameCube and play the game up to that point again, it's going to happen again.
That's kind of the point.
Even internet sites couldn't help me with it.
Do you not want to, though? Do you not want to find that game and try again?
I do. I want to know what happens after that fatal 4-way ladder match.
It's
just go on eBay and find it.
All my old systems. That way, if I find a game and I can play it again, I can play. Sometimes TVs don't adapt, though. That's something I'm learning.
No, you have to keep the old TV. You have to keep the old variety that has the fucking plus
well,
USB.
Thankfully,
or
thankfully the GameCube is actually quite adaptable for the newer TVs.
Yeah.
So
the GameCube was way the fuck ahead of its time, though.
Yeah, it really was.
It always was. GameCube was like
fucked everything up.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like? Sega Saturn? That motherfucker. For the last attempt from the Sega Sega Game Group to create a home station, that fucking thing was incredible. And nobody.
Yeah, that and the Dreamcast were really good consoles.
The biggest problem is when you don't have enough money to put your shit out there far enough. Yep. You know, everybody else is clamoring for this, and everybody else is clamoring for that. Nobody's paying attention. It's
all an advertisement, really, because I remember seeing far more shit for like PlayStation and Nintendo than I ever did for fucking Sega. You know,
it's just like movies, right? Like
yeah.
in the same year, Transformers was put out, Disturbia was put out, and both were done by Shia LaBeouf, right? Not that I'm a huge Shia LaBeouf fan, but Disturbia got no play, and Disturbia was actually a great movie.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was better than Transformers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Do you guys remember the 360?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
One.
The first time I ever saw that thing was at a fucking. All right. So we were Town Center Mall at the time when malls were still a thing that were important. Macy's had a 360.
Yes, Macy's.
Yeah, there you go.
The
Macy's had a
Bond
360
when
set
they
up.
were separate.
Dude, you had to stand in line to play that fucking thing, and it was horrible.
KB Toys, my friend.
They have baseball on it, man. That fucking thing, that was like baseball on the 360 was the exact same as like blackjack is in Uno. It was terrible. It was fucking horrible, but it looked good. That was the moment where I realized that video games are going to become something I could not comprehend.
Right.
And I was a kid, man. I was like 13 years old. I was like, this is it. Never going to get it past this.
Yeah.
Then the PlayStation came out. I was like, no, I get that. And then the PlayStation 2, and then the PlayStation 3. And the PlayStation 3 was the last time I understood what the fuck was going on.
Okay, so I remember the first time playing my first Atari.
We still have the paddle controls.
Yeah, man. Like I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And I mean, just the fact that I was addicted to it, like that. And again, I make this clear, I'm addicted to freaking video games.
Hold on, wait a second. Here's another.
If I touch one, I can't not beat everything that it has to offer without saying, okay, this video game's done and over with. And then I never touched it again.
Does anybody here know what the first American home computer system was?
Did it have something to do with the character named Sam?
What it was?
Did it have something to do with a character named Sam?
No. But this is important. It was not an American system. It was just billed as the first American home computer system.
Was it the Commodore 64?
It was not.
Oh.
You would think so, right?
Right.
I understand why you're saying that. It was the Magnavox Odyssey.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
It had a keyboard that did nothing.
Yep.
You literally, like, it came with cartridge games. You put the cartridge in, you play the game, but the keyboard did not a fucking thing, with the exception of one game that was a math game.
You know what movie comes in? You know what movie comes to mind when you mention that? National Lampoon's Vacation. When he's planning out the trip on the TV.
You guys remember Strong Bad Email?
Strong Bad Email.
Okay. Do you remember the whole thing about why is this fucking duck chasing me? Remember that?
Yeah.
That came from the Magnavox Odyssey. It was from their version of Lord of the Rings. There's a dragon that chases you through a shitty maze that looks like a duck. An angry.
We call those geese.
That was the first video game I remember playing in my house.
Super Mario Brothers.
So I'm the oldest child, so video games, except for when a dad was around. We'll leave that alone. But video games were only in our house until my little brother was interested in video games. And he's the baby. I'm the oldest baby. That's where that comes in. So once that happened though, and me and my little brother were really close. So we like played video games. He's also who I experienced many realms of our geekiness with. Like it was nice to have somebody to share that with a little bit. But yeah, video games were a really small thing in our house until that one got into it.
Right.
It's fucked up too. When you think of like when like most of us were raised, I mean everybody here is 40 and over, right?
No.
Yeah. No, he's 35. Sorry.
James hangs out with old people because
Craig's not 40 either.
Not yet.
Oh, sorry, Craig.
No, Craig's 40 in his heart though.
No.
Craig's like 5 in his heart.
Yeah, I'm like 5.
I'm 15 at heart, so let's just go with it.
I'm like 16, 17, like that angsty punk that wants to come out, but is too old to like get in the pit anymore.
No, I still go in the pit.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not that bad because everybody's mellowed out too. You're not the only one.
No,
Not
there's
the shows I go to,
children
bro.
in the last pit. Little children. I was like, if I go in there, I'm gonna hurt people.
I go
Like,
to
I was
old
actually
man
scared
metal
to go
shows.
in because
So.
I was gonna hurt
Old
somebody.
man metal, where everybody's in the back.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna go with that.
I'm that
Went too
person.
far off topic. It has something to do with video games, though. I feel like that was probably a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all over the place tonight.
Yeah.
Now that the wrestling talk's over.
Sorry.
But it's all good.
Wrestlers.
It happens. It happens. It's all linked together somehow. It's all entertainment. We all find joy.
Yeah. Loud music played at wrestling events. Yes.
I remember
Loud music played at wrestling events.
All the time.
Yes.
with video games.
That's what I and video games. Loud music at video game during video games too.
No, not that.
But
I was going to say was the whole idea of having to go and talk to people and figure out how to get around fucking weird shit in a video game.
Yeah.
Like there was no way you could get up online. There was no online. It didn't exist. So you had to
back Nintendo Power back in the day.
Right,
back in the day, my brother.
There was a Sega hotline that you could fucking call.
Was there?
With the Sega Master System, it later translated to the Genesis. But there was no way to immediately figure it out, which meant. All right, so do you guys know about a game called Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Incredible game. Like it is, if you
You're
are
right back.
a video game person, Dark Souls is a game you will enjoy because it's set up with that thought, that mindset, which is like you die, you start over, right? Here's the thing, though. All the people that I read talking about Dark Souls online, and I still keep up with the shit because I do love video games. It's not for me anymore. It's not what it once was. But these guys would be like, I don't know how to get past this part. I keep dying and going back to the beginning. And all I could think was, man, you have no idea. You got no fucking clue. This game was literally designed to draw you back to what we once had to fucking deal with. And you can't get past it. Imagine being us trying to figure out how to beat fucking ghouls and goblins. And only finding out after you beat it the first time that you have to do it again with a specific fucking weapon. Like like you guys do not know, and everybody was talking about this game like it was the hardest fucking game they'd ever played. I played it and beat it in one run through. It's not that fucking hard. That was the last game I played on a PS3 was fucking Dark Souls. I beat the shit out of it. It was not an issue. And literally, like, look, like, type in, like, grab your phone, type in Dark Souls. Some of the first comments are going to be like, why is this so hard?
Dude, then some of these, they need to go back and play some of these old Nintendo games. Because I got
go find
day,
an old TV and hook up Duck Hunt. You want frustration?
Go down the
list. You will never feel frustration like when that dog comes up and laughs at you.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I had never beaten that game. I played that game a million
Never beat.
Oh, come on, really? You never beat that back in the day?
I've never beaten it.
No, I would get up to Mike Tyson and I would fucking lose every time. I couldn't get the timing down.
Yeah, there's a way to beat them, but I have like a hot rodded version of the Nintendo came out with like the mini NES, and Super NES, 5 or 6 years ago. But I have a hot rodded version where it's got the flash drive, and I have every game, every Nintendo and Super Nintendo game I have. So I'm gonna look up for whatever the fuck that was. Because there's another game on there that I came across. There's a few.
Dude, if you need this, you need to play that game. If you've never played that game, it's fucking awesome.
Because there are a few unlicensed Nintendo games on there, like something Bubble Bath Time, where that game I played that game a few times.
Oh, okay. Conker's Bad Fur Day was a Nintendo game, but my guess is it is not on the system now. That is my suspicion.
The first R-rated game they ever made.
That's what I'm saying. They literally changed the video game rating system because of this game.
Yeah.
But it was a Nintendo game.
So it might be on there. It might not be.
I don't know. I have one of those tiny Nintendos that
I've got the little Super NES. I replayed fucking one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Fucking it's called Mother in Japan.
Yeah. got one of those. I got a Sega one that has all that crazy shit on it too.
Hold on, I've almost got this.
According to Google, that's an N64 game, but you're saying that came out on NES?
Yeah, N64. Yeah, no, N64.
Sorry,
Yep, sorry.
Wait, Conker's Bad Fur Day was on, but it was based off a game from a Game Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah,
but it was not.
Conker's Birthday.
It was a
game,
N64.
and then when they made the Bad Fur Day, it's 64. Yeah,
but it is Nintendo.
All right,
That's the important.
Yeah, I don't have that though.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. Now you got to get that.
Well, I remember this because it was a children's game originally, but the remake or the version that they came out with it.
No, they pee on things to make things happen. Like, it is one of my favorite games of all time. That's why it's back on the wall of stuffs.
He literally fights a giant sewer turd.
Yeah, yeah.
He
The
throws
Great
corn
Mighty
and toilet
Two.
paper.
His name's the Great Mighty Two.
He sings a song.
Yes, Story for Teeth. This is my realm where James knows so much about wrestling. I know lots about Conkers. Oh no, this game, like, there's this part where you get stuck and you gotta like ride away. It's the first time you like race on a surfboard in like a game, like for real, and you're like doing like hardcore stuff.
Oh yeah, that was a groundbreaking game. That was the other thing. What's even funnier though, it starts off with him being drunk, hungover.
Yeah.
Like it starts off with you not understanding why the controls don't work. He's hungover and wobbly.
Yep. And then you have to literally learn the game from being drunk because the whole thing's about him being hungover and drunk.
Love it.
And every level is a different movie from our childhood.
Even better.
Great concept for a game.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
it definitely was.
Yeah,
Right.
no, like I said, it is literally one of my all-time favorite games ever on this planet.
That reminds me. Okay, so we're Dark Souls. The other thing about Dark Souls is because PS3 was one of the first like major systems that was. They were online before that, but that was one of the first ones that had full online support, right?
Yeah.
So in Dark Souls, if you had a part that you came across that was confusing, you could send out a request to other people that were playing the game on their PS3s, and they would show up in your version and play with you. That was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
That shit did not happen in old video games. That is not a thing that could occur.
No.
Not
Like
only
hell.
that, I didn't fucking need it. I would do it just so other people could watch me run through the shit they were bitching about. And I'm not a gamer. Like, I am not a fucking gamer. I am a horrible gamer. There was no reason I should be able to do that. But I'm just saying that people now, when they talk about hard video games, do not know what they're talking about.
No, because now I get pissed. I get pissed when I'm playing like Tyson's Punch Out, and I can't get past Bald Bull anymore. And I used to be able to whoop his ass. 30 years ago, I could whoop his ass.
He's coming in at you ducked. He's coming in at you ducked.
Dude, but now he's moving so much faster.
It's not that he's moving faster, it's that we're older, we're moving slower.
Maybe
I
I'm
would
old.
know
yeah.
this has the old school video games, right? And they have all the old arcade stuff and pinball and all of this. And it's because we're used to now moving faster than what those video games were actually moving. And like the reaction time is ridiculous. The reaction time is ridiculous. I'm like trying to play Mortal Kombat like old school arcade, and I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, you know, like
I cannot beat fucking part 2 anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You able to do it? Can't do it now. I can't. You know what?
It's because of reaction times, and now all of a sudden we've learned all these codes, but the reaction times again don't work with the codes because we work faster. I blame the internet on everything.
You get able to just type in shit and be like, I have every weapon, I have a tank, and here's some other shit.
I did that on Saints Row.
Yep.
We did that with Saints Row. I did all the codes, and just unlimited ammo, and just went through the stories because it was fun.
Sure, like we look at this, like legitimately, like, if you look at the GTA shit next to everything else, there is no time limit. You can go take out a match anytime you want it. You can put in any code.
That's how Saints Row was.
It literally.
Did you guys ever play Driver?
Driver? Oh
Driver
my
was great.
god!
Driver.
Yes.
Driver was a great
Fucking
fucking
Driver.
Driver
That's
2 was
Britain.
better though because you
Britain,
could get
right?
out of the car.
Is Driver
Yeah.
the one in Britain?
What's that?
Is Driver the one that's in Britain?
I don't think
I
it's
don't know.
in Britain.
I don't know. I haven't played it in forever.
I don't remember it being in Britain, but I just know that it was like GTA before GTA was GTA.
It was,
Yeah.
especially
It
Driver
was.
2.
Does
Like
it
Driver
start
2
off with a cinematic where people are talking about spilling a bit of claret?
I want to
Because,
say
like,
yeah.
that's the only one that I can think of that's similar to GTA that I played.
But like you had to literally it was GTA before GTA ever fucking happened, and it was for the PlayStation original.
Yeah, Driver 1 was for the PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Driver
and
2
then
came out.
was
Driver
PS
2 hit when PS2
Oh.
came out.
Love that freaking game.
Driver 2 was far better.
Just an overview.
Yes.
Driver 2
Yes.
was far
PlayStation
better.
1 had GTA, except it was an overhead view where you would
Now
get
when GTA happened, that's when hookers and like there was extra stuff.
Yeah, no,
Extra stuff. Kind of like that Simpsons Road Rage versus
Simpsons
Driver.
Road Rage, yeah.
Yeah.
Simpsons Road Rage was my shit.
the game that I'm thinking about involved like you were in Britain and it was actually London is what you were driving through. It started off with a bunch of guys talking about fucking spilling a bit of claret being blood. And your main character starting off at level 1, running through a area and fucking getting something they needed, coming back to the car and then driving through London. And it was like a real map of London. And that was its selling point, was that it was London. It was like a full-on London.
Nothing there.
And it was. When you beat the game, you got to drive around it for free. That was your what you got
I'm
for
literally trying to recall it. It
Yeah,
might have
nothing.
been. Because I remember roundabouts. I do remember, but my state didn't get roundabouts
funny,
until
immediately,
like 10
roundabouts.
years ago. So
Yeah, roundabouts, by the way, this is a weird side note, but man, it really pisses people off down here.
yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah.
and they install a roundabout, it makes people really angry.
Oh, yeah. No, they do it in the middle of like nothing neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Here, like a speed bump.
Same here.
Like
Ours
a
is-
fucking
there's a-
speed bump.
Well, this is the thing. Like straight up the road, there was a 4-way stop, and they turned it into a roundabout. And the next thing you know, there's like 3 wrecks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like it was just a
we've
weird.
got roundabouts with speed bumps.
But yeah, because
What?
people keep just cramming through them and trying, even though it doesn't make any sense.
Look, Ben Kids Parliament.
Well, it's really fucked up. Like there's all kinds of studies on the shit. Like a roundabout actually makes things safer. Not in America.
Yeah.
No, because we're too
America
stupid.
just fucks people up.
We're stupid over here.
No, people are like, I don't know what to do. Oh my God. No, it's true.
Well, the
It's
fuck-
true. I
everything
told the
going
story
through a
about how the first time I learned about roundabouts, it was from a cop who actually arrested me. He was on the you know, the local channel. There you go. The local channel talking about it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this because that cop arrested me once.
As you should. But all right. Yeah, we covered a lot of bases here, far more than I ever thought we would today.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That was
wrestling.
wrestling was what we came here for. But
Hey,
got into-
Spider-Man started out as a wrestler.
she did, Randy Savage. Oh, saw. Oh, yeah.
Yep, another one.
But
You need to come down here.
Tony, thank you so much for coming on again, my man.
Of course,
I'm
man.
sorry I wasn't a better partner.
It's
It's okay.
it's all good. We ended in a tie.
No, yeah. everybody-
Yeah.
I know,
that was
I
actually
know.
a good run.
I really did try. I studied a lot and I didn't retain any of the information.
No, it was 12 to 12 to 1. We did good.
Yes, exactly.
We beat the guy.
Yeah, you'll just have to study up more for next time.
Exactly.
Yes.
For WrestleMania
Still
trivia.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
And we got Saturday going, right?
Yep. As far as I know, like we're gonna live stream this on Facebook.
I got headphones. So Blue,
if
I
you
got
can't,
Peacock.
yep, we got.
I'm having Windows installed. I don't know if I am or not.
If not, you can pop in and say hi.
I will show up long enough to be like, hey, window. And then I will.
Yeah, exactly. But an invitation, any guests that we've had, any friends of ours that are wrestling fans and would like to join us in our Zoom meeting or even in the comment section, just hit us up. You know where to reach us. That Advented Geek Den. So before we leave, I want to throw a tribute out. Got to take my hat off because last week the wrestling world lost a great talent, very tragically. Mr. Jay Briscoe, Jamin Pugh, was killed in a car accident, and like my heart, just everything goes out to his family right now. If you've ever watched Ring of Honor, he was one of the founders of the company. Like he was there from the very beginning to the day he died. In fact, he was a world tag team champion when he passed away. So yeah, to his brother Mark, who is wrestling tomorrow night, in tribute to him on AEW Dynamite, best of luck and everything. Our hearts go out to you, the entire family. Cheers. Jay Briscoe. So, on that note, Tony, thank you so much for coming out, man. It's always a fun time talking wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, you two need to study up for WrestleMania season.
It's a whole different level then. Royal Rumble to WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble is
like 2 months to get ready.
I'm here to ask shitty questions. That is my I'm going to ask.
I'm here to learn things.
That is my thing.
And then I have extra useless trivia to bore extra people with. Woo!
The Royal Rumble, though, is the kickoff to the road to WrestleMania. It airs this Saturday, January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern on Peacock, WWE Network outside of the United States. If you're a fan, tune in. If not, tune in anyway. Especially if you're paying for Peacock, you're basically getting free wrestling pay-per-views and you don't even realize it. Seriously, the pay-per-views alone pay for themselves. Like,
that's actually.
I agree.
Think about it though. WWE Network came around in what, 2014?
Yep.
For $10 a month.
Yep.
Okay. And with that $10 a month, you get every pay-per-view that they've ever done on demand. You get every upcoming pay-per-view live streaming, every previous episode of Monday Night Raw, every previous episode of Friday Night SmackDown, independent wrestling shit. You fucking
Dude, I have
TV shows from the 70s that nobody knew even existed. You know what I mean? $10. And it's Peacock's not even that much. It's what, 15 bucks a month?
Something like that.
Honestly,
I
don't know. I have a friend.
Yeah, it's like it's not that much. So
we share some things. He shares my, he shares his Peacock. I share my HBO.
And with Peacock, you don't just get the wrestling; you get all kinds of movies, TV shows.
A lot of great shows. Actually,
seriously,
a lot of great shows on Peacock.
I mean, I hate to be a corporate whore, but
actually, I think right now they have that new Silent Night movie on there.
Violent Night.
Yeah,
Violent Night. Sorry, Violent Night, which I actually paid for before they put it on Peacock. Goodness gracious!
The only reason I did, but like it would normally be in the library, Craig. You know what I'm talking about. It would normally be in the library. I knew it was coming on Peacock, so I was like, I'll wait.
I don't have a lot of library things because I do my horror movie thing, and then all of a sudden I binge everything that I put aside for a minute.
There is a library we have to talk about later.
Yes.
Not right this moment.
Okay.
Later.
No, I have a list of just things you guys have mentioned that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, they're all in the library.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
But anyway, Tony, thanks again for coming out.
No problem.
Craig, Terry.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Digitally. Till next time.
Absolutely.